The Board of Assessment Appeals will be starting. This will be conference room bridge number 1. It is for Monday, March 8th, starting at 4 o'clock.
Kathleen?
I'm Catherine. You might be looking for Kathleen. She's blonde.
Oh, okay.
I'll turn off this light. Perfect. Nice to meet you. You too. I know. No problem. No worries. Thank you. Sure. Yep. I'm one of the 9 members of the board. Today, virtual. Okay. 6 minutes. See? Okay. Because of the noise, I'm going to close the door. Sure. So, welcome to your Board of Assessment Appeals. Okay. My name is Catherine. I'm one of the 9 members of the board, and I'm the one who's going to hear your hearing today, so I can be well qualified to present to a group of us that will vote on it. Okay. We are being recorded for COVID. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I'm just going to we're running up and down, but we're totally recorded for all the hearings, and therefore I have to say that the hearing will be starting at 4:01. And a few things for the record. This is appeal number 51 for property address 295 Country Road. The owner is Robert Warner. Is that you?
No, that's our father-in-law.
Okay, and you are the appellant James Sullivan?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. So there's that. I need to swear you in. So if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And you
I'm Susan Bell. We're half owners. Our names don't appear on that.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't have. Who's the other half then?
My father, and then we are the other half.
Oh, and then you are. Oh, okay. James and Susan.
Yes.
Terrific. I have a very long last name when I use it in full, so I'm used to things being cut off. So that's what this is for. Okay. And therefore, you are the owners. Okay, because I was going to look for an affidavit, but I don't need an affidavit because you're the owners. Okay, terrific. We've got all that. You're sworn in. Okay, and then the other piece is that the town has valued your property at $682,700, and you are asking for a fair market value of $535,000. Correct? Okay, terrific. We've got all that. I have had a chance to look at your folder, your file here, and I see that you had an appraiser done.
Yes.
And now I want to turn it over to you and I'll jog if I have any questions, but you can walk me through it, especially for the record.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I can start?
It's all you.
Okay. Well, last year we refined our home equity line of credit. So People's Bank said they appointed an appraiser.
Yes.
And he came up with a price of $535. And I do have a full appraisal here. It was a big walkthrough. It was a very thorough one. He was there about an hour and a half.
And I have that here. So
This is the full one. That's only the first 7 pages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could give you the full one. We did make a copy of it.
This is a copy of it.
Okay, that's terrific.
Okay.
Were you given a piece of paper downstairs to sign that you were sworn in?
No.
Okay, we'll have to get that on the way in. I think Karen we'll make sure that you get that to sign.
Okay.
And then I can have that too. That's great. Although I did go through and, the comps looked You know, I understand it was Judge Street, they actually had some sales, which is terrific, so, 223 Judge Street, 144 Flushing, 35 Villa Place, and then they also did an income comparison as well, to come up with. So I do have all of that to satisfy the opinion that was given. Just wanted to check if the date was on of when that was done. It does say the tax year. Do you know when you had the appraisal done?
It was in February of 2020.
Okay, great. And that would be here. Terrific. Okay.
Yeah, he did a real good job. I mean, like I said, we walked through the whole house for about an hour and a half, you know?
Well, and it's a professional appraiser by a local staff, you know, you get that kind of, because you've been here a long time now. Do you live in one and your dad in the other, or?
No, the other side, we own the whole house. The other side, we don't even deal with the tenant. We do not rent it out.
It's a home with a small apartment attached to it. So the apartment is not rented out.
Oh, so you just leave it vacant, but you're...
Leave it vacant, yeah.
Okay. That was the question, why was it vacant? Okay. You know, it's pretty straightforward. This is exactly what we asked for, to have some comps and to go through the comps. And I was able to, I don't have any other questions. I just want to take a look through some of this with the text setup that, okay. So you live in the 6 rooms and you leave the 4 rooms vacant? You
Correct.
don't want to be a landlord?
Do not want to be a landlord.
Okay. And you've lived there a while?
Since 1992.
Okay, that was a very good year. That was the year we bought our first house. So, I thought that was fun when I saw that. There's another comparison. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? I mean, I don't want you to rush. It's just that you were so...
It's just what we did. I mean, like, according to the property increased by 42%. And so what we did was we just pulled the surrounding homes and, like, across the street, I mean, he went up 28%. The house,
We've done no renovations other than general upkeep for the last
painting. You do your maintenance, of course.
Yeah. For that, and, you know, I don't want to have, you know.
And the last, those recently sold duplexes on our street.
Yeah, like 311, which is right next door, it was a house that sold for $387,500, I believe 2 years ago. He tore it down and put up a monstrosity.
Yes.
And each half sold for $630,000. The total
was $1 million, but that was a new construction.
And it was a side-by-side duplex.
Yeah, they tore it down and put up a monstrosity.
And they put up, they sell it separately. It's not a one family. You know, it's not a single family look. It's, they sell it differently as an
It's a duplex, basically.
Right,
Yeah.
so they, 2 owners now instead of the 1 owner.
Yes.
Okay.
And on the other side of us, 275, that house was sold in 2019, but it was gutted from head to toe. And that went up 33% in value. So we're just kind of curious as to why ours went up to 42%. It just seems out of whack to us, you know? You know?
I do, you have good comps, you have everything documented. I don't have any questions.
Okay.
But I didn't want you to feel rushed, because, you know, when people have everything all together and put together, it goes faster.
Absolutely.
But I still wanted you to be reassured that I didn't have any questions because it was so well put together and
excellent.
appraiser and so forth.
Okay.
Just the next step that we have, so the one caveat, it is by law. We're not making up that it has to go to the October 1st valuation date. So February to October.
Okay.
You know, we're trying to get to that point. So that's why there's sometimes a little bit of a difference, just so you know. And then the next step now would be, there will be at least 5 of us from the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm very sorry, I usually silent. The Board of Assessment Appeals, and we'll meet at least 5 of us, and we'll discuss, and then we'll take a vote. And we will do that in the month of March. As soon as we make that vote, within 7 days, you'll get a written notification of the decision.
Oh, okay, so sometime March, early April, we should get.
Fingers
Okay.
crossed, we've got a lot to get through.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you're denied, you can come back next year. But if you're granted, then you have to 5 years to the next revow before you can come back. It's kind of this is a very legal, statutory type thing.
Okay.
And if you don't like the decision, you can go to court, and all the written instructions will be in your decision letter.
Okay.
I just want to let you know that all. So if you don't have anything, I truly do appreciate the information.
Do you want these other two, these are the recent duplex sales that were under 400,000?
That would be good. I'll give the Board of Assessment, I'm a temporary member to get through the hearing, but the board, they
I
done
just
a great job.
highlighted the sales of those on our.
That's terrific. So just, this is the quick, now these are they go together.
Well, those are just, no, those are two separate recent
This one
sales.
was a single family. Was one of them a single family?
No, I think they were both duplexes.
Oh, they both, okay. So let's just, while I write this down, 311, this was the one that was a tear down.
Oh, that was a complete tear down.
Tear down.
And then, or that was a duplex,
Which one?
an apartment one, the one that he bought down.
No, that was a two-family.
Yeah, that was a
And they
two-family.
tore that down and
Yeah.
put up another duplex.
Yeah, those are both, one's a two-family, 311 was a duplex, the other one was a two-family.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
the one at
okay. Yeah, the duplex, when I see here this appraisal for 1,000,001, is that the two pieces together?
Yeah, that's the
So
combined,
for-
yeah.
Okay,
Combined.
each sold for, I'm going
Six
to
and
big
change,
approximate,
or something,
6
yeah.
1/4.
Yeah,
plus
something
or
like that.
minus. I just wanted to.
I just go by memory what I saw on the paper.
Right, but the existing homes on that site, like our home, was only sold for 387,000.
7,000.
That's what I highlighted.
Yes.
Those were the sales.
And then 206, that's the same thing then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so it's an existing house that was sitting on the property like ours. They only sold for $380,000.
And when they were there before they were torn down, they were like you, were they single family or were they multi-family?
They were multi-family.
They were multi-family,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, two-family.
They
They
were
put
both-
up these new duplexes.
Absolutely.
okay.
Torn
So we
right
cannot
down.
be compared to those new,
Structures, is what we're saying, yeah, because they're just.
we are one of the existing.
And I get a lot of credit for the original board, the real Board of Assessment, is they've organized all the hearings so that I'm hearing all of the multifamilies and some comments to that. And I won't be solely responsible for that, but, they broke it up to a couple of us. And then when we deliberate, we're going to, the 2 of us, 2 to 3 of us, and then we'll get 2 or 3 other people to hear. And it gives a more complete picture. I think
Okay.
just by organizing that, I think, what we're hearing from you, we are hearing from others. And it's great to have, while this may not be, it gives a good background. And then,
Okay.
of course, as you say, you have the very traditional multifamilies that look like two families when you drive, and you're like, oh, it's clearly
Yeah,
two
that's a
families.
two-family.
And then, there's yours that really have the single-family character.
It's really,
that
yeah.
It's really like an
It's
apartment in there.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's almost like a family
Right.
compound type thing,
Right.
with a little, and then there's, the new ones that
Right.
are going up that are duplex, that are really becoming condos, because they're splitting them, and you get 2 owners. You
That's
have
correct.
the whole, and then you have the investor people, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it's, you try to find the similarities that are most, so, and I know this area has had a lot of, turnover going on, and, yeah. So, I just wanted to let you know that. So I'm gonna wrap up as long as you've got it. I've got it, then I can tidy up. Thank you for coming and participating, really, that is very sincere. If you don't have any questions for me, we will be concluding the hearing at 4:14.
Sure.
So we were right on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thank you
I
very much.
appreciate that.
Enjoy the rest
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna follow you down to get that, old one, that's the sign for you to sign.
Okay.
because We'll get that now.
So I've already submitted several homes in the immediate area, probably within 4 or 5 homes of mine. One in particular is located on Overlook Drive, sold for $850,000. It's almost identical in terms of size and portion of land. And I have to look exactly on there, but one of the things that I find most concerning is my property value based on the valuation went up. I just don't see that no major renovation is done to the home. And the ironic part is that the other members of the family that my home probably is triple that. So I just don't understand how they're coming up with that.
Hi, Susan? Yes, hi, this is, my name is Catherine. I'm working with the Board of Assessment Appeals from Fairfield Town Hall.
Hi, Catherine, how are you?
I am good. Thanks for waiting. I know I'm running a few minutes behind here. There's a little protocol because everything is being recorded. I just have to say a few things for the record. The hearing is about to start at 4:20 p.m. This is for appeal number 168. For the property listed at 511 Black Rock Turnpike. Owner Susan Bento is on the phone. The town's value for the property is listed as $619,400, and Ms. Bento is asking for the consideration of fair market value of $520,000. Is that correct, Ms. Bento?
That is correct.
Thank you very much. And okay, that takes care of that. And now I do have to swear you in, so if you could raise your hand and say, and I'll say, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And now it's your opportunity to do some, and you know, if I have any questions or so forth, that would be great. I do see that it's a multifamily. You have acknowledged that you're a broker as well as the owner of the property.
Yes.
And you provided 3 comparable sales. Well, you highlighted 3 comparable sales. You were actually very kind and gave us some more, but 761 Valley, 20 Pierce Street, and 795 Black Rock Turnpike, all which sold in 2020 for a range of $450,000, $370,000, and $495,000. Correct?
Correct.
Sounding
Yes.
good? Okay. Now, can you walk me through any other considerations and how you came up with your fair market value of $520,000?
Well, I obviously came in a little higher because of, you know, I just put new siding on the house. I do have AC. So I have a little, some notes when compared to the subject property and what they had that were more of value, and then I obviously deducted for what other properties had as opposed to what my property had. So when looking at, you know, I picked the 3 that were most compatible and that were in a higher range to be fair, because some of them sold pretty low in that particular area or zip code. So the value that the town came in at is just as far exceeds the market value. So, I mean, the information is there. And then when I actually looked up to see what the town had assessed, 795 Black Rock, 20 Pierce, and 761 Valley, they're far less than what my property came in at. So I just don't understand how that could even be possible when compared to the market data and other properties that were assessed that are, you know, similar characteristics, and some of them even are in a better location, have more square footage.
I can appreciate that. And I see you have 2 lists of properties. I just want to make sure that I really do understand everything that is here. And you know, sometimes I jump ahead. If I'm repeating, I do apologize. I wanted to say, my name's Catherine, and I'm the one who's going to be presenting your case to, you know, a quorum of the Board of Assessment, appeal members. So we'll have at least 5 people, and really my role is to understand as best as possible so that I can do the best job presenting for you. And then we'll deliberate it and vote on it. So I see that there's 2 sheets here, you know, that list out. So one looks like everything that is closed in 2020 in the zip code 06825 that were 2 families. Is that correct?
Correct. So
Okay.
that was third-party market information. That is purely statistical and factual for you. And then the other little spreadsheet, I actually exported that to an Excel spreadsheet and then picked the 3 actually higher priced homes and that I felt were more similar as far as, you know, comps. And then I added my little notes.
Yes, I see all that. Yep.
Yeah, so that is actually edited by me, where the other one is not editable, it cannot be edited, and it's just completely information from the MLS.
Okay, no, but that's perfect, and I just, because they were just out of order, they were in a different order, but they're the same. So you ran MLS, no, I'm just confirming, especially for the record, because, you know, you gotta take all your notes, so, and as you can imagine, it's nice that you have a complete population that was populated by MLS for all of the 2 families that were sold in that zip code for 2020. That's kind of what I'm trying to confirm. You didn't hide any ones that may have passed. That's the part. It's a full list.
And if you can highlight to the board that I didn't pick the houses that sold the least, I actually picked
the higher one.
Comparable. And if you can see, I highlighted the most of the, what I felt. I'm not sure. I just think that
you picked the 3 largest because you have square footage.
I just can't believe that the house appraised that. It's insane.
And that's why I just want to make sure that I can present all that and, not make assumptions of what you're doing here. So, I do. Now, there was one, and I'm commending the elected board of assessments, because what they have us doing is they have put all the appeals by neighborhood and by type. So we're actually hearing all of the multifamily ones tonight and tomorrow, and then a few of us will deliberate on this. So you do get a full-on picture, which is, helpful, as well as you've presented a fair case. So I really want to present your case. But, it's nice to know what other data is coming in as well. So I did have a question. I'm sure I'm going to know the answer. There was one that was brought up before. I just want to make sure it was number 826 Black Rock Turnpike. And I was thinking that might be in the 06824 area code for some reason, or it's not on your list. Maybe it wasn't CMLS.
Was that recently closed?
August 2020. And since you're a broker, I wasn't sure. But it's just a question. It's not that you have to defend everything. You gave us what we asked for.
I'll be honest with you. I entered 06825 because I was trying to get the C-zone area. So
you're right.
Came up with.
I was just curious as to why when one's missing, but you have 3.
There is a cutoff. I think at the intersection of High Street and where it becomes 06824, a different school zone. I do know that for rental purposes because that's been brought to my attention. That at some point it gets cut off, and I only know that because of the school district. Once you go to the 04, now I guess the better school district is what I'm told. So.
Okay, well we're not assessing the schools right now.
No, and that's the only reason I would even know that. But I just entered 06825.
Terrific.
I'm trying to get all the C-zone properties because I am in a C-zone on a main road. I have a homeless gentleman that sits out front, and now my property is assessed at 620. So
there you have it. Yes.
I can't make sense of it. I can't even afford to pay the increase. The rental market, no one would even pay that. It's ridiculous. So no offense to anybody. I just don't know where the number came from.
There is a module, but yes, that's what we're here for, to not just take it. So and I did want to. There was one other question. Oh, so you rent both sides? You don't live in it?
I actually live in one of them.
Oh, okay. And then you rent the other side?
Yes. So when I purchased the home, I rented both. It was upstairs, downstairs. And the gentleman I purchased the home from had an illegal 3rd floor, which I went down in 2017. It was basically an attic. It was a finished attic, which I just made legal for now. So I don't know if that's taking some play, but I mean at the end of the day, the square footage and the bedrooms, and I just don't understand why it was almost double.
And you don't have that you made the attic legal, but you don't have that as an additional. There's only 2 units.
No.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, Susan, I appreciate you were succinct. You definitely presented, the appropriate information, which is helpful to us. So I thank you for that and putting us in the right direction in the documentation. I do appreciate all that. Do you have any other questions for me or?
I do have a question. So let's say, for example, and I didn't present, I'm sorry, the reason I'm not there, I actually missed it here in the last week. My father was in the hospital with COVID. I was exposed to him, so I've been in quarantine.
Thank you.
So,
thank you for quarantining.
Yes, so I have another property that I missed. I just missed everything. It was just a hectic last week, but, so 795 Black Rock, Turnpike, I looked up the assessment and the appraisal that the town did, the new one, because I went on Vision Appraisal.
Yeah.
So, and I think that for that one, the town reassessed it at $340,690 and appraised it at $46,700. So is that fair to bring up as a comparable to what this property was assessed for and appraised at for 795 Black Rock Turnpike? You're saying it's sold for the $495, and what is it appraised at? Right.
What's
The town appraised it at $486,700.
So that's very close, you'd have to say, the town, yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, but here's the thing, my property has an additional, you can see on my notes, I have an extra bath and I have a garage and I have 56 square feet, which I don't think adds 140,000, but, so obviously that's where I'm kind of getting the 520 from.
Well, and that's what the Board of Assessment is, that's basically our comparable sales are your best information to present for us.
Okay.
And that's what you've done is your comparable sales.
Right.
Right.
So I think if you have the garage and the bathroom, that's got to put me at an extra $25,000.
And you've done that by going with the 520. That is all in your notes.
Okay.
So, yes, you were correct to focus in on comparable sales and quote, lucky enough to find them, because sometimes that's the hard part.
Yeah, yours a little difficult.
Right, but yours are there, and you have the up and down and the adjustments, and, I'm feeling confident that I can present your case, so that will be the next step, that we'll deliberate to a majority or a quorum of the Board of Assessors, and then we will vote, and within 7 days of the vote, you'll have a decision.
Okay.
We're all scheduled, I'd like to say the end of the month. By the end of the month, you should have a decision. And if you're denied, you can come back next year. Here we go into the robotic part. If you're denied, you can come back next year. And if you're granted a reduction, you can't appeal until the next revaluation year. But if you don't agree with it, you can go to court, and there will be instructions on that in the decision letter. So if you have any other questions for me, I would be glad to answer them. Otherwise, I need to conclude the hearing.
I think that's all. I think you have the information, and thank you.
And thank you for maintaining your quarantine, because we've done all that we can here, but, it's better that you quarantine. I hope your dad,
I'm asymptomatic,
is doing better.
I just rather be safe than sorry.
Yes, and you did a good job presenting here, so it's nice to think that it's all together. So I appreciate that. All right, and
all right.
We'll be in touch. Thank you, Susan. Take care.
Well, have a good evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Hearing concludes at 4:33.
size, for instance, what the breaking is like. They haven't done a whole lot of work to it, and the town seems to think they picked it up. I'm not asking for a big difference here. I think that if we back up a little bit, I believe that
Hello.
Hi.
did I close the door?
But it does get a little noisy. Could you please? Thank you. Well, welcome. My name is Catherine, and I'm one of the members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. My role today is to hear your petition and to make sure that I can present it to a majority of the board.
Okay.
At which time the majority, we will deliberate, at least the majority, at least 5 people. At that point, we deliberate and then we take a vote. And so, because we are being recorded and because of the COVID precautions, I do have to read things into the record. So, the hearing will begin at 4:30.
This conversation?
Yes, everything has been recorded. They're all of the hearings.
Okay.
So to be read into the record, starting at 4:36, this is appeal number 90 for the property at 221 Hyundai Avenue. The owners, would you pronounce your name?
Kazuo Mizuguchi.
Thank you. And your first name is sweet?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. They don't all fit on the in the tabs. Okay, you're both here. You're both the owners. The town has valued your property at $537,100, and you are asking for a fair market revaluation to $365,000. Is that all correct?
That's correct.
Terrific. Thank you. Well, if you will raise your hand, I'd like to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
I left a piece of paper there. If you could sign that you have been duly sworn in, and I will pick that up at the end of the session. And now I'm going to turn it over to you, knowing that I have gone through your file, and I didn't really have any questions as we go along, but I'd like you to, fill in any of the blanks. So please let me know how you came up with your $365,000 market value.
Okay, so our property is on Hunyadi Avenue, and it's a 2-family. There's an upstairs unit and a downstairs unit, and they both have 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So what we did is take a look at similar properties, which are all 2-family properties
Yes.
with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And we tried to look in comparable neighborhoods, but the town-assigned neighborhoods, there's only 2 properties that sold in our neighborhood, so we broadened it a little bit to look at comparables. And along with location, the number of bedrooms and the number of bathrooms drives rent rates. And so this is an investment property, and obviously, the higher the rent, the more valuable the property. We've shown only on our chart here of comparables, we've shown only 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-family houses because our property is that. And again, our property is upstairs, downstairs, not side by side. Sometimes I mention side by side because that's preferable for renters because they don't have somebody above them making noise and there's more privacy. You can't hear people walking around. So I have noted that.
And you also, again, for the record, and so that I understand, looks like you did a great search and you did these comparables are for sale of the unit. So, and that is what we asked you to bring. So thank you. A lot of people bring in other things, but this is, so you have a list of, I don't know, it looks like eight or so of them, all sold, later 2019, all of them reval a period. So
yeah, and they're
thank you
all sold during the base period that the assessor's office talked about.
I'm appreciating that. Thank you. Yeah.
The organization is reverse chronological order, top to bottom, date of sale. So that's how I organized it.
Okay, terrific.
Our property has not been renovated. And I want to point out that the 2 properties on Black Rock at the top of the page,
Yes.
through Zillow and Realtor.com, there's photos and the text describes them both. They've
And
both been
you provided some pictures. and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
I don't mean to interrupt you, I just mean to have it all in the record. that
No,
I do have that in the
I
file.
do appreciate that. So some of the photographs, when you see our property is not renovated, it's got the old style cabinets, it's got the white old appliances. Some of these renovations are really splendid.
They certainly are, they're quite luxurious.
Yes.
Yes.
Those
Okay.
those are the first two properties. So those are renovated. What else I would say is that there's two properties in the Grasmere area, and as you know, the Fairfield Metro Station went in, there's Whole Foods, there's a lot of restaurants coming in, or that, it's walkable. It's a more desirable neighborhood, but there are two properties in Grasmere, and those are, first of all, our property is in bold at the bottom.
Yes.
And then 72 Kenwood and which one? 41 Grasmere.
And
Those are in the Grasmere area.
right there.
And so, it's a more desirable location, so they should have a higher market value. Those sales, we saw 41 Grasmere sold for $407,000 and is appraised at $404,700. And then all the way toward the bottom, 72 Kenwood, that's sold for $460,000, and the appraisal is $418,500. We offer those. Again, we don't think that the neighborhood is comparable, but we offer those as what should be a ceiling on our property's valuations, because it is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-family, and a better neighborhood, but not renovated. There is a 2-family property that's sold in our neighborhood, and in fact, it's not exactly in our backyard, but it's kitty corner to our backyard. It's on Country Road.
Country Road, yes.
Yeah, 206 Country Road. That was a 2-family, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and
They demolished it, though.
they demolished it.
Right.
They demolished it. But it sold for $384,750. So in establishing the fair market value, what a reasonable buyer and seller would buy and sell the property for on the open market, we have something in our neighborhood, just as I said, abutting our property, $384,750. And I do want to point out that when you look at the chart sales price and you look at the 2020 appraisal, in every case, the appraisal is less than the sale price that occurred during the base period. So I have to assume that this Country Road property, if it hadn't been demolished, the appraisal would be less than the sale price, just like every other property. And the sale price being $384,750. Now that property was demolished. They rebuilt condos. Because of the property size, it's larger than ours. It was probably more. Can be sold to a developer. They put 2 condos in there. So it's a larger property, and it's a younger property. It was built in 1958. So that is the property that's the sale that's most comparable to ours, right in our neighborhood. So we think that's what we really should be looking at.
And as a ceiling rather than equal, because of the property
like 20,000 a little less. You took off a little, right.
Yeah. And again, that's the sale price, and every property is appraised less than the sales price, so there's that as well. There's something that should come out so that our appraisal is similar to other properties, which is one of the fairness tests that your website lists, that we should have appraisals similar to other properties. And so those comparables that I've skipped over, like, for example, the third one down, 45 Green Lawn Drive, $369,700. The next one down, 20 Pierce, $355,900 is the appraisal. And then 2 down from that, 60 Beacon View Drive, $387,700. Now these are all, nice neighborhoods. Like our neighborhood's a decent neighborhood. It's not Grasmere, but it's nice. And 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-family home. So that kind of, mid-high threes, I think that's where we should be. In order for our appraisal to be the same as comparable properties in town.
Well, I thank you for your information, because it is, and to have this clarified and to, to see you've done a good, clear, succinct job of presenting the information. So I'm comfortable that I can present what you said here. I'm hearing what you're saying. Now, do you have any other questions for me, or is there anything that we've just forgotten to say?
I think in wrapping up, I'd like to say that, we're not in the up-and-coming Grasmere area. We're not renovated. We're this 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-family house. So I do think that there are properties during the base period that sold that, you and your committee can take a look at. I think there is some comparable. And I do want to emphasize that the other test that's on your website is fair market value, what, you could reasonably sell it for. And, I mean, honestly, if you look at this chart of what the sale prices of similar properties have been, even those that are renovated, with that beautiful kitchen and bath, it's nowhere near our 2020 appraisal of $537,100. That's really out of
What does a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment and a 2-family rent for? And I know that there would be ranges, up, down, whatever the customer preference, so to say. But to give a range, what do those rent for?
Yeah, we're getting $1,550.
Okay, and that's what I've been hearing, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, and that is the range. It's not the top of the range.
No, but that's...
Yeah, it's a fair price. That's what we get.
Just asked for, and that would be for each unit,
For each unit, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That is consistent with what we've been hearing too.
Yeah.
So some people come in with the sales and the rent analysis, income analysis approach too, which is
right. And that is what drives the price of a multifamily investment home. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Absolutely. So when just to clarify for the 365, how we got that is that we look at Country Road, that's the nearest comparable, but also we can see other comparables that are in our range and discount it for less land, for much older building, and then discount it because every assessment is less than the market price during the base period. So that's where we came up to 365.
Okay. Well, again, I do appreciate you, A, participating, and B, doing it in a very good manner for me to be able to present to sometimes it's hard to get it out. So I would show my appreciation for that. It's the page that I need on top. And
do you have anything else, Cosmo, that you think we may have missed?
Well, you didn't miss, but just to emphasize that side-by-side property, downstairs, upstairs, but really to rent, some people shy away from that because it's not side-by-side duplex. That's more preferable to rent out. We are likely to have tenants, but that's our concern, a little bit.
The other thing I mentioned in my text that I do want to emphasize is that the other properties that I say are comparable, the 45 Green Lawn, the 20 Pierce Street, and the 60 Beacon View, the ones that aren't in Grasmere and that aren't Country Road, all of those sold for a price higher, all but one, Pierce did not, sold for a higher price than Country Road, but their appraised value is much lower than our appraised value. Right. So we have that comparable in our neighborhood. These others are selling for more, but the assessed value is lower. Yeah.
And when we spoke with the person who had the mall, what was it,
the Muni-Val?
Muni-Val?
Yeah.
And he didn't have any, what do you think? We expressed that 537. That's way much, like $200,000 more. But he just turned down, and then we have to come here. It was kind of, I'd rather have
there's
your opinion as
information.
well. Right.
There's information that goes in, and so their job was this information, to make sure the information that was going in, and it's primarily your field card. And to make sure that they haven't missed something, significant there. Even though and then it goes into this modular, which actually, Fairfield, the state says that is the model, like it is a great, they're all, and then it spits out. So there's always now it came out of the box, so now we have to say, well, what may or may not have worked in that modular. And then there's a model, that's the model, like a model.
Oh.
It's a whole algorithm of things. Now, not to say that it's not, because that's what, we just want to make sure that the information going in, now it came out, now somebody has to look at it. And so you've done 20,000 property, it's still just, and we had an incredible number. Fairfield has the most sales in the state with over 1,000 sales. We have 650 appeals to be hearing. So there's
the deviation is so big. It's I want to hear from your point of view.
Unfortunately, that's not my role, and I could get in trouble because I can't speak for the board. That's why we will have deliberations. They will be recorded as well, and you can hear the deliberations of the roles. I think, you've made a very succinct case on exactly what we've asked for, and that's what I'll be presenting. And then I would advise you to listen to the deliberations.
Okay, thank you.
Understand, I cannot give you that's not my role to speak for the board. The board has to vote on it.
Sounds like how they come up with is some, kind of similar to Zillow come up with. Zillow have all the numbers.
They always have an estimate.
And how inaccurate that number is. So even Zillow, they must have much bigger than Unibel. But I have an impression that it's nowhere near to the market value, very often.
And I think the volume of sales, it's difficult because, you're putting sales in. Think of the sales that we had last year, and by state statute, we're supposed to get to the value on October 1st. And yet you're putting in the sales value from before October 1st, and then you're hoping to get to October 1st. So again, it's complicated. I don't mean that to dismiss anything that you're saying, but I do it really to defend our assessor. He is trying so hard. And if there was something wrong with your field card, he would correct it immediately. And but it's a model, and it was very tough to account for 1,000 sales that may have happened the year before, and then we had the year of COVID, and the state tells you, no, you have to go October 1st, 2020.
I wonder.
Okay, if I may, just on that score, I think our evaluation failed on both of the tests. One, the fair market value is off based on those sales that go back, as you point out, a year. But the second test, that it is assessed similarly to similar properties, I think it fails on that one too. So if we're taking a snapshot and a guess at what its value is October 1, the guess on our property is very different than the guess on other similar properties. So I think it fails on both of those tests.
And it was an exceptional year, but that says, and that's why you're here, and I appreciate that. And with 600, I do have to conclude this at 4:54.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Is there a box or something?
No, I have everything on the folder and scanned. And if you wouldn't mind, on your way out, send up the next one.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Because it gets to be a lot of walking.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew, how's it going?
Hi, very good. And let's take that.
Yeah, but-
How are you? Good.
Busy
Thanks for
day?
waiting. Oh, it's gonna be a busy night. Yeah. for
Oh, it goes
sure.
later than that.
Well, I've been here, we did this morning too, but, so Andrew, I need to do a few things because we're recording and everything in COVID. We have to have for the record, so it's a little bit robotic, but I promise I'm gonna listen to you. And, okay, my name is Catherine. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and my role here tonight is to listen to you, to understand your case so that I can present it to a majority of the board.
Okay,
And then we would deliberate and vote.
fair enough.
So that is my job for tonight, and to confirm, as we start at 4:56, that this is for Appeal 159 for 60 School Street,
Mhm.
and you are the owner, Andrew Hassan.
Correct.
Thank you. And the town has your property appraised at $419,300, and in your opinion of fair market value is that it should be $400,000.
Correct.
Okay, and I did have take a look at your file, which definitely thanks for being succinct. However, I may need a few more pages from you, not that what you have here is the appropriate information. So the first thing, I need to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal in past questions shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Thank you. If you could just sign that you...
On the top?
Have you done that? Yes, you just put your signature and toss it to the corner there, and I will grab it on the way there.
And I just have to sign on the top line, that's it?
That's it, and then
Okay.
I sign below, thank you.
Only if everything's that easy.
Well, okay, so you've had an appraisal done,
Yes.
but I have only the first page, so I don't have any of the comps. And I just want to confirm, I think it might be a little typo, it says 407,000, and you say 403,000 in one of these, so that's very
No,
close.
the appraisal on the sheet is the actual right one. I gave you guys.
407, okay. Now, do you have more pages of that appraisal for the
Yes,
comps?
it's a 200-page document. I just didn't want to print it out or bore you guys by giving it all to you.
Does it have the chart with the couple of pages? How was it appraised? Was it,
By a
was
mortgage.
it sale?
With the sales is we got a mortgage on the property, so the mortgage company has a third-party appraiser come out and take a look at it, and we got a copy of it.
Did they appraise it based on, because it is a two-family, and I'm assuming you
Yes.
rent both, it's an investment property?
Yes,
You don't live there?
correct.
So, did they use, what I need to know is, did they compare it to properties that have sold, or did they compare the rent?
Off of what was sold,
Okay.
as well as, because if it was all purely off the rent, it would appraise mathematically. If I do commercial investing, it would appraise much higher if it was done
On the rent?
on the rent. But we did it because for mortgage purposes, it has to be done through comps.
Of the sale?
Because it's a residential property, because it's less than 4 units.
And that, yes, that does get into all, I do understand that too. So I was wondering if you could at least send in maybe some of the pages that have the comps on.
I can send you the whole thing, I just didn't want to waste your time by sending you a 200-page
Do you have
document.
a PDF of it?
Oh, yeah, I could forward you a 200-page PDF.
Just, that would be easier, because everything's getting scanned in anyway, and they don't want to scan, who needs to be scanning that in?
I agree.
So we are at BAA, Board of Assessment Appeals, at fairfieldcc.org.
Do you need this or no? Can I take this with me? This is just your sheet that says to come here this time.
Nope, I don't need that, there's your script. So
So what is it?
BAA, for Board of Assessment Appeals, at fairfieldcc.org. And if you could reference
The
appeal
account
number 159, and put Catherine, Catherine.
C-H-A, what was it?
C-A-T.
C-A-T.
H-E-R-I-N-E.
H-E-R-I-N-E.
So just put appeal number, boom, Catherine in the subject line, and attach that PDF.
Okay.
That would help.
That becomes public record, of course, right? If I recall?
Everything here, that's why it's being recorded, yeah.
Perfect. Well, not perfect, but that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, no.
So I give
Freedom of information, we're all out there. It is, and then it also says that you purchased it. Okay, and I do have that on the field card, so I
Yes.
wasn't going to ask you for more backup on that one, but you paid
October 5th, 2020, 400,000.
Correct. That's why we think it's worth 400,000. I mean, the comps are a little, I mean, I know how appraisals are done, because I have a lot of friends that are appraisers, and they say they usually do about what it says, but they usually mark up whatever the appraisal is, it's about there, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. But
There's something called a coefficient of dispersion, and we'll allow that. I did have a question here, and this is where I'm not as familiar because I'm not a lawyer. So we're supposed to take, you say it was an arm's length sale.
Yeah.
However, the code, and this is why we need to make sure, does have that it was a qualified sale. So is the field card wrong?
I don't.
Was it, right.
For what?
Okay, I'm going to just show you what we're talking about with the field card, which is the thing. And because you use the word at arm's length, you understand what that means, right?
Yeah.
So this may be something that, like, says right there, the Q or it means qualified sale or unqualified sale.
Yes.
So yours has a Q.
Yes.
Are you aware of why it would have a Q? Or we need to ask the assessor why it would have a Q?
Probably ask the assessor.
Okay, you're not, it was arm's length to you, it was a listed property?
It was a listed property, I saw it, and I was like, ooh, that's,
That looks good.
yeah.
Okay. So that's part of this process, we just gotta make sure that everything.
It's not like, no, I did not know them, and like, hey, throw me a bone here, I'm like, no, didn't know them. I know them now, and I actually like them.
Well, that's always positive. So you rent both of the units?
Sorry, no, I actually owner occupied, that's my bad.
Oh, okay, so you are, okay.
Yeah,
That explains the mortgage as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my bad. I live in the bottom unit, I rent the top unit.
Okay, nope, that's terrific. We'll have to ask Ross this.
That was my mistake earlier.
No, it's, you might have thought you were gonna do one thing, and then it turned out you were doing the other. But whatever, that's good. And again, we're not that far off, so I'm not really sure. Was there anything else, like other information that you want to share with me, or?
Nothing crazy. I mean, I'm a real estate engineer and stuff like that, so I can get you like comps if you want. I didn't know.
The appraiser
I feel like the appraiser is probably higher than finding some random comp on the MLS.
And it was so close, it was for the bank, so that's why I'm like, if I had just had the appraiser report, I just want to make the best presentation. So of course they're going to say, well, what were the comps, or what was it? And
I can give you the report. Yep, absolutely. I get it. I've done a lot of these in my day.
Good to know. So,
do you need the whole document, or is there like certain parts they need? Because I want to make your life easier, because I know you're obviously very busy.
Well,
so
whatever the PDF, me personally, I'd love to see that chart that shows. I know, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're catching up. The normal chart that shows, subject property, 2 or 3, 5. It's usually like 5 pages of the report.
I could give you that.
It's probably like the first 10 pages of the report, and then the rest just goes into
pictures and random crap.
Don't really know, but if you just want to drag the PDF over, that's fine, but to your point, it does become pieces of information, and
Yeah, I'll give you the first couple pages, or the parts that actually are important relative.
Mostly the comparable properties, to know what they really are, would be very helpful.
Absolutely, I can get those to you guys, no problem. Or I can get to BAA@fairfieldct.org.
And if you put that in the subject line, it'll get to me that much faster.
And then in the subject line, you said show appeal 5 or 159, and then Catherine.
Because then they'll know that just.
Oh my God, you have the same name as my attorney.
Well, there you go.
She's very smart.
Okay.
Way smarter than me. Maybe it's all the Catherines.
Maybe it was just in the name. So, Andrew, I have heard you, and I just want to make it so.
No, I don't want to waste your time. I think I got my point across. I'm now like, oh, no.
No.
I have all my stuff.
So, and as I need to tell you, I'm going to be presenting the position, the majority of the board. You'll, within 7 days of the decision, hopefully by the end of the month, you will be notified of the decision within 7 days after the vote.
I get it.
If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. And if you're granted a reduction, you can't you can't come back and tell the revaluer. But if you don't like the decision, you can go to court, and all the instructions for that will be in the decision letter.
That's always fun.
So if you don't have any questions for me, our hearing will be concluded at 5:05.
And that's perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to Fairfield, maybe, unless you've been here before. Or
No, I have some other property here. Actually, not in Fairfield. I have property in Bridgeport, town over.
Okay.
Do you need a copy of this, or you already have this one?
Oh, was that, no?
It's the same one that you have.
Oh, then I have that. No,
Okay.
that's what I was looking for the rest of it.
Perfect,
We
okay.
do ask you to be succinct, you just took this very literal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I like being quite accurate, you know, it doesn't hurt.
it would just help to have the cost of the town property expense.
I will give you all that from the appraisal. I look at this, you guys probably get a lot of just homeowners that are like, why is this going up? But I actually have like licensed people that, if I was just like, oh, your property goes up over time, like I did, like I have a rental property that my family owns in, New Haven, Milford. And it's going up, in the last 20 years, it probably almost doubled. And they're like, yeah, we can't fight the oppressors. The assessors is not like we're getting comps and stuff like that. But they're like on a property that we just bought.
That you just bought.
And we actually have like a guy, well, I don't even know this, he has like a real license name, number and stuff like that.
Well, that's what we would hope for.
Yeah, no, yeah, they are, because now with how FDIC is and the mortgages are a bit secure, you have to be a licensed appraiser if your mortgage is getting FDIC, which it is.
Right.
Pretty much all mortgages these days are now, so I don't want to waste any more time. I can talk all day.
And I like that too, and you're not wasting my time, but I have
I
many
get
other
it.
appeals. So
I
I
get it.
appreciate you.
Yep, thank you very much. I will send an email over to you later today or tomorrow evening.
Perfect, that'd be perfect.
And,
We start deliberations later in the week, and just tell the next person to come on up, would you? Save me this.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah?
I will figure out who it is.
Thank you.
Bring it all the way down all directions.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Are you Mr. Bilderman?
Yes, that's me.
Great. Would you mind taking a seat in the blue chair?
Blue chair.
The blue chair.
That's for us, huh? Blue chair.
That's for you.
So how are you?
I am good. I'm going to ask you to sign this after I swear you in. There's a little welcoming here.
Hello.
Welcome to Fairfield and Town Hall.
This is my first time. I came up. Well, last time.
Oh.
It is.
To find the Town Hall or within the compound, the complex?
Town hall.
Okay.
The first day kid drove up the paper. That's why I got lost. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
My name is Catherine, and I'm one of 9 members for the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Mm-hmm.
And my role today is to understand your case, your appeal. So that's why I need to listen to you. We'll go through the papers, and then I will be presenting to a majority of the board.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, the majority will take a vote, and that will be the decision.
Right.
And we'll wrap up with what happens after the decision here.
Mm-hmm.
But, so for the record, we're being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
This hearing is starting at 5:09 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Number 33 for property 343 to 345 Suburban Avenue. The owner is Eugenio, how do you say, Eugenio Villagomez, and owner present. And the town says that the property is valued at $573,000. And you are requesting it to be the market value that you paid for it, $500,000.
Correct.
And your sale was completed in December 2020.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. So, if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, and if you could just sign that sheet that says you were sworn in.
Because that's the way I thought the
Okay, so, Mr. Gomez, let's see, I do see, I mean, it's reported at 500,000. You say it was now, I just want to check, this is called the field card.
Correct.
And that's the information, and one of the things we ask for is about competitive, comparable sales, they have to be at arm's length.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Q on your field card, still next to the sale date. Is there any reason that you would know that this was a qualified sale and not unqualified?
I have no idea what that means.
Okay, can you tell me when you purchased it, was it a listed property on the market?
Yes, it was.
And did you know the people had it been listed a long time, or?
I didn't know how long it was listed. I
Okay.
just went based on the information it was on the realtor.
Okay, and do you know what it was listed at? That you negotiated then at a certain other price, but?
I believe it was listed at 519.
Okay.
Then we did the inspections.
Yeah.
So they found a few things, and I gave my offer.
And
Original was 510. Then we calmed down, and with all the items was need to be repaired. So at the bottom line, we came to 500 agreement.
Okay. Okay, so that it was 519, you offered about 510, the inspection, then you brought it down to, let's make it even at 500.
Exactly.
Okay, as it happens. Terrific. Okay, and now, there are 2 units there?
Correct.
And both are rented, you rent them out, it's an investment property?
Correct.
Okay. All right, and, I mean, there's not a whole lot more we have to do, that is your purchase price, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty confident to say this is what went on. I am going to ask the assessor to look into that qualification versus the unqualified, just so we're
What do you mean?
straight up on that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I will definitely look into that and find it. But there's not a whole lot, even though you look like a very lovely person, that would probably be a lot of fun to have a conversation with.
It was so funny when I received the letter from, I say, I just signed this thing, I say, now it's going up, then I say, first thing I look at it is the field card, then I say, okay, it's 500 versus 573, how can be, there's very
That's a big difference.
big difference, then I said, so let me talk to them, see how they can help me.
So I do understand, like I said, I will be presenting the case in the next week or so, deliberations, we have so many, it's just getting them scheduled and getting it done by the end of March.
Right.
At least 5 of the 9, if not more, will be there to listen, deliberate, and vote, and then we will let you know the decision of the vote. If we deny, you can come back.
Mm-hmm.
If we grant something, you can't come back until the next revow, so it'll be a 5-year wait period. But if you don't like the answer, then you can go to court, and all the instructions will be in the letter,
Correct.
the decision letter. And I do thank you for participating. I think this is, great information. Welcome to Fairfield, now that you know how to get here.
Yeah.
But do you have any questions for me that I have not answered about the process? Or?
No, it was great, and I was just curious, how do they value the town? I was, based, they must have something with the...
It's not just the town, it really is the state, and I am not qualified to give a lecture on it, but
No.
you get the information, it's based, and the state tells you, it's going to be the fair market value of October 1st of 2020. It's this year, that's what you have to do, and it is, it's a very large module.
Right.
And that's why we look to make sure that all the information that went in there, and then, it's a mystery to you and me.
Yeah,
But it's not a mystery to our assessor. He really doesn't know what's going on, but it's still, things need to be refined.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really qualified to tell you exactly how he came up with the 575, but as long as we know that this has gone into it, and
Right.
and you have the price that you paid, and did you get a mortgage for it? Like,
Yes.
is there an appraiser for it? Is there an appraisal?
There's a mortgage, so you know.
Was there an appraisal for it? Did you get one from the
Yes,
bank?
yes, I did.
Would it be possible for you to email over even like a PDF of that document, or is that?
I have to look into it. I could do it.
Could you do that?
If you really want
I mean, that always does support more, because that's what we go with, competitively priced properties in there.
Okay, I
And
can
to
do
be
that.
quite honest, you could just send a PDF, you don't have to send all the volumes of paper. And it's especially important to get the value, you know, the opinion of the appraiser.
Right.
That's usually the front page, and then he'll list out some comps.
So
That would be very helpful.
I know there's a lot of papers.
There's a lot of paper, so look at the first like 10, 12 pages. So the front page is usually like the opinion, this is the date, this is, you know, it's very brief. And then there's generally a couple of pages of charts.
Okay.
I'll show you one.
Mm-hmm.
And,
So I don't want to send the whole thing that way.
no, and the PDF, and, you know, it will become, this is one, you know, we have some people do their own, because they don't have a bank appraiser, and it,
No, I did
the gentleman
do the
before you
mortgage.
didn't want to
Yeah.
send one in either. Oh, I think we got one here. Yeah, here we go. So, they're long, but these are the pages, they'll be like, so that's the,
Right, that's right.
here's your current application vote, that's what it is. And then it's followed by a couple of pages like this, so that's one page. And this is it, that's the subject property.
Yeah, they
and
compare.
And they give you that. So once those charts end and it goes into like all of this,
Right.
yeah, don't want to get
Just
that. These would be very good. I wouldn't even get too worried about all the
So
pictures,
like
all the pictures and all that.
It's
Just
like
that chart
4 or 5
is
pages.
always good.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Now,
would appreciate that.
whose email should I send that?
So,
Yours, Ernest, or?
here's a board, yeah, I can write it down.
Hold on, maybe it's right here on the web.
You don't need that letter anymore.
No, I know.
You're here.
I was just looking if there's an email.
It's all over the website, but here, if you put BAA@fairfieldct.org,
Okay.
if you put in the subject line, put this number 33 and put my name, because we just get so many, that way I can go right to the file that I need.
Okay. Who's Karen Kate?
She works for the assessor, she's in the assessor office.
She was very, very nice.
Oh, we're all very nice. What do you mean? I'm not so nice, but.
You are so far very helpful.
This is where, well, we're trying to be helpful.
That's all I
And
got.
Karen's been awesome, and, yeah, so she'll appreciate, great, she doesn't have to look up where Catherine gets this and goes into that file, and she'll know.
So I will send that information.
Perfect.
And anybody's attention, or they will know with the number?
They'll know with that. They'll know with that number, and,
33.
yes, and they'll know, add it to the file, that's great, and then I can look for it.
Okay.
I would appreciate that. If you could get that in the next day or two, that would be even better.
Okay,
then I
but is by Wednesday too late?
Nope, Wednesday's great.
Because I got to look for the papers.
I'm sorry, yes,
No.
that would be that would be the great documentation, versus just, you know.
Just feel good.
I do like that it's succinct, it's very nice to be brief, but, and I'll find out about that queue.
I was thinking about not much paper, that's why I said, oh, less paper better. Just kidding.
Well, still, less paper, because it's gonna go right in there, you can just email it.
I will.
Okay, I appreciate meeting you, and thank you very much for your time. I'll wait for that, and then I can wrap it up, and we'll get you on the deliberation schedule. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time and information.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Hearing is concluded at 5:19. Yeah, I looked at it.
picture. Yeah, that's really my case. I mean, honestly, like, when I was searching for a house and I was looking to do it, I'll be honest, it's going to be great for this. My daughter is, well, I just, despite the market, So, how do you present your case? No, I think that's well, other than the address, I mean, I can give you my talk. No worries.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yes. Okay. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah. Right here. Yeah. I'm still up. My name is Margie. I'm here. And the town has a compensation that $155,000 and we're future value
market value is somewhere around more likely to sold for on that date. Yes, why not? No, what I'm saying is, why don't you just give why you okay.
So I
Sorry. Okay, where do I sit?
Right there in that blue chair.
Right here?
Right there.
Okay, all right. Good.
I'm just looking at you from your eyes. Were you a reporter?
Yes.
Ah, I remember you from many Board of Education meetings.
Oh,
I
really?
was
Did you used to work for the Board of Ed?
No, well, PTA.
Pardon?
The PTA.
Oh, for the PTA?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right, yeah.
thank you for your reporting. I sort of miss all those, feeling involved in the community and following along. You were a good reporter.
Thank you.
Thank you. I remember that now.
It's always good to hear that.
Being what it is, I'm going to close the door.
Okay,
because
you want
there's
me
a
to
few
close
weird-
it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I have to say,
You're being
I'm gonna-
recorded.
pardon?
Everything's recorded. Before you say anything, I want you to know you're being recorded, especially you're being a journalist, right?
Keep it clean. Okay, all right, so
To start, my name is Catherine. Do you want, I can do this if you want. Is
Oh.
it easier? No, because I have this. When I speak, I'll take mine down. You can hear
I
better?
see what you mean, okay.
Yeah, are you all right? You want me to keep it up?
I'll let you know, because it,
Well,
you know,
that's why I closed the door.
not working as well.
Oh, no, and it's, even though I'm wearing a mask, I say, why can't I hear as well? I realized how much I was reading lips before. So, again, my name is Catherine. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment. We have 9 on the board. Okay, my role today is to make sure I understand your case, your appeal.
Okay.
Because my job will be to present it to a majority of the board.
Okay.
And then we will deliberate, and then we will vote on it.
Okay.
So that's my job right now. My role is to make sure that I understand what you're saying here.
Okay. Are you on the board, or you present it to the board?
Well, I'm a temporary member of the board for the hearing, so I am on the board, and there's 9 of us. So I will be right, there's 9 of us.
Wow, okay.
So
And then all 9 people consider every single case?
We get a quorum of 5, and the 5 will vote. We do have to have a majority. So I'm appointed, the board, the 4 main positions are elected. I am not elected to the board, I've been appointed for years. Different. Okay?
Okay, all right. Yeah. Tell me your name.
For the record, I'm Catherine with a C.
Okay.
For the record, this is appeal number 322 for Margaret Grosso as owner, and she's also right here appealing, The property is 202 Glengarry Road.
Right.
Okay, the town has your value at $455,900,
Right.
and you have a fair market value of $414,000. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, I'm just reading here,
Yeah.
just for the record. And Ms. Rosso, if you could raise your hand, I'm going to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God. Yes.
Thank you. The piece of paper that's in front of you, I just need you to sign that when you were sworn in. Just your signature is fine. I can fill in the
Where's
today's
the
date.
signature?
Yes, and then I sign on the bottom.
Okay.
And then just push it to the corner, and I will pick it up.
Okay. I also have all these other, I added to what I gave to the Board of Assessment Appeals on February 29th,
Okay.
17th, 19th, whatever.
Well, I'm looking through all of that, and it looks like you have the condos on either side of you sold.
Right.
They sold last year, 2020, one sold in March for $475,
Right.
and had many, many renovations, over $100,000 according
Right.
to the neighbor. And the one on the other side sold in September of 2020 for $429,000. That's what I'm reading
Right.
here. And that had an updated back.
And that what?
That had the updated back.
Right.
Right. So you've taken the sale price for that condo and subtracted out a bathroom of $15,000.
Right.
And said that's where you got your fair market value.
Right. Right.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm following everything.
And since then, I have looked through, there's 132 condos there. They are not all the same as mine. There are approximately, what did I say, 1,300? About 19 condos that are exactly like
Exactly
mine.
yours.
When I say exactly, there could be some tiny difference, but
Or
they
a zero slab or
they
something.
all, we could, go into each other's condo blindfolded and know where we were going. So, so the difference would be in updating, renovating bathrooms and kitchens and so on. And since then, I have found 2 other condos that sold in the time period.
Okay.
We're talking about October 1 to October 1. And those sold for, and I could give you this whole thing afterwards. Okay, number 53, Blackmouth sold for $400,000.
And when did it sell?
Pardon?
The date of the sale?
The date of the sale was 9/30/2020, September 30th.
Okay, yep.
2020.
400,000. Okay.
Yes, and the town has appraised that at $391,700.
Okay.
The other that sold in that time period is 93 Gate Ridge Road, and that sold for $390,000.
And again, the date?
November 13th, 2019.
Okay. Okay.
And the property card, I have never been in either of those, but the property card for Gate Ridge Road, 93 Gate Ridge, says that it has an average kitchen and average bath. And it says, for the one that sold for $400,000, it said it has a new kitchen and average bath.
Okay.
So it's some 4 units similar to mine sold in that time period, the base time period, and the selling prices of 3 with average or some renovation has been $390,000, $400,000, and $429,000. Only one, the Super River one, went for $475,500. Okay.
Okay.
I also have here for you a list of 13 condos that did not sell within the time period, but I put the year in which they did sell, the address, what they sold for, you know, which in some cases, if it's sold in 1996, or 2002 or something, it doesn't make much difference. And what the town's appraisal was, because I thought the appraisal was interesting. The appraisals vary from $391,400 to $428,700. So these are identical condos that you drive. There are other units called the Fenwick, but they don't have a garage underneath.
Right,
They
different
have
model.
a bigger basement, but you have to go across a parking lot to get into your car. So these all have the garage underneath, and I would say they would be just, you know, the equivalent of mine. And so I put
Well,
those.
I would appreciate whatever papers you have on the two that sold.
Okay.
And because that's how we really deliberate. We're like, these are the last ones that sold, they're in the time frame. And I think those are the other ones that, you know, as a reporter, you were very thorough in getting all the information, but we need to present the sales, and I think that's enough information to be,
Okay.
So I can take the list, but I know, I'll let you know, I'm really going to present on the 4 sold.
Okay.
Okay? Is it okay if I take those copies from you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's great. Give them to you.
Okay, terrific.
And this, I have the property cards here. Get my glasses on. Okay. I have mine, 202, 204, 206 Glengarry Road.
Right, you gave those all in already.
And 93 Gate Ridge and 53 Black Mountain.
If I could get those with that, that'd be terrific.
Okay. So, and then I have, if you want the property card for the 13 other condos.
I respect all information that you're bringing to me, and I can let you know, I mean, I will take it, but I don't need them because they're all really, we would just pull them up on the website for the GIS if you want. So I don't.
Yeah, well, I thought you could do that, but I.
Yeah, but, so I appreciate your information, I just want to be honest with you that, you know, if I take it, then they have to scan it in again, and it, you know, it requires a lot more work for everything that we already have available. So I want to reassure you.
Pulling it up on the website.
Well, it will require because they'll be entered into the record. And if you want them entered into the record, I can, but they're all pulled up here. I will gladly take, I will not silence you at all. But, you know, I just, there's information that I definitely want to have in the record. You know, and sometimes when you have too much, I don't want to take away from what we really need.
Yes, well, I know that. I didn't want to overdo it. On the other hand,
you have it.
Put it on the record.
Then you would like to have it all. Then I'm going to take it all and put it all
you
on
have
the
one of
record.
those already?
I do.
All right.
I do.
I just saw somebody said, oh, no, it only costs $1,000.
No, I've done enough bathrooms, no.
You know that is a seven.
Right.
Yeah. Okay,
So I'll
appreciate the list of documents. You need this
is that your hearing notice?
revaluation notice of this
I have that.
assessment. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, you don't need a notice of today's hearing.
No.
Okay.
I want the 2 other sales, the one on the Black Mountain Gate Ridge.
And you don't need that again, because I gave that to.
That's correct, I have that, that's
Right.
all then. We're confirming. If we're confirming, I'm confirming I have all that.
These are the ones that sold.
But that's what I want those.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want that list
A list, so the,
of the ones that have been up for sale.
and this is updated from, what I gave the people in February, because this is.
Because you put the other 2
The
sales.
other 2, yeah.
Perfect.
That
I read
I,
through.
you know, didn't know about then, but I went through
Well,
all of them.
and you did a lot of work in all that time, I know, it comes up fast, so.
Pardon?
Okay. Now, do you have any questions for me? Do you feel that, you know, I've heard what you...
I guess, will I be notified when?
So what's going to happen now is, like I said, I'm going to make a presentation using this information, so thank you for it, and, you know, making your case, and I talked to the 5 people at least, the majority. We are scheduled to deliberate, we're gonna have our hearings through the month of March. When we make a decision within 7 days, you will get a mailing. You will get a mailing with the decision. And everything is being recorded, including the deliberation. So if you went on the website, you could, listen to the recording of the deliberation if you want.
The recording of today, or when you talk
All. There's gonna be plenty there. Gonna be plenty of recordings.
Well, so I'm a little confused. What when you present to the board, can I be at that?
You can listen to the recordings of it. You will not be able to participate at that point. That's our role now, to make sure that I'm gonna participate for you.
So you say I can listen to it after the fact, or?
Well, actually, even during, but I don't have a schedule for it right now. I don't know when it will be.
Oh, during.
But you can listen during. But I can't tell you when that's going to be because I don't have the schedule for it yet. Yes, it's a little tricky, but you'll be able to, we'll post what's been heard. Okay, so you can do it, or if you miss it, then you can hear it. I know we will be deliberating Tuesday and Thursday nights and Saturdays. Tuesday, Thursday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturdays. Right now, that's
Saturday morning or something?
we did it 9 to 2 last week.
Okay.
It's a long day.
Okay.
And right now, that's the schedule we're working around. It's not set in stone, but that's how we're trying to schedule everybody.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, you can see what appeals are those days, and then but you'll get a notice. You will get a notice in the mail on the decision.
Okay.
Okay? And if you're granted, if your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted something, then you have to wait another 5 years for the revow year to come back.
If I'm denied.
And if you don't like the answer, then you can go to court and there will be instructions in your decision letter as to how to do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And if you have any other questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them. Otherwise, I think we can conclude our meeting, but do you have any other questions?
No, the only other thing, I could just give this as backup.
Yes, absolutely.
But the only thing I wanted to point out, actually,
Yeah.
so maybe, is that the appraisals of the other 13 condos that are identical to mine, they range from, what did I say, about 390,000 to about 428,000. And all of those, that's 13 condos plus 3 more. Yeah, and so they're all much less than mine. So I don't know why he kind of picked the number out of the blue to put on my condo. It seems like it's come out of the blue.
Okay, and that's
Or maybe because it was that high or nearly that high last time, I don't know. But,
okay. And these are all the same unit as yours, right?
yes,
The same model, I think that's
the same,
word.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Or maybe, should I put that on there?
No, I'm going to put it on right now.
Okay. Because it was a different model, because it wouldn't be pertinent. There are,
Absolutely, you are spot on.
yeah, there are some bigger and some smaller, but,
Okay, Ms. Grasso, I think that about,
this, and I should give you this.
yeah?
There we go.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, now you sign this?
Do you need any clips or anything like that?
No, I have my supplies over here. Thank you.
Okay. All right. This will get back to her. Well, thank you for doing all this.
No, I appreciate your time and all your work. I've read many an article.
Pardon?
I've read many an article. Fairfield citizen, I'd be sitting there on Friday nights with my pizza.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Huh, I love the journal.
I know, don't lock it.
Don't lock it. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Have a good evening.
Oh, you too. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, don't worry.
Karen? Has Mr. Osborne shown up?
No, he did not, and,
Okay.
so Mr. Weber is downstairs,
Okay, I will.
and, Sarah Gardner, your 6:15 call has canceled, she's not feeling well.
Oh, okay.
So,
So she's a reschedule? Is that what that
she
happened?
left a message, I mean, I'll put her in for a reschedule, but, I had to look her up on the system,
Okay.
so.
No, okay.
She sounded elderly, and so she just left a message, and she didn't leave any other information, so. She said she couldn't do a phone conversation either, so she didn't sound very well, but it's sad. So, Mr. Weber is downstairs whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll come and get him in a few minutes. So this, thank you, because,
Yeah, so,
I really try to prepare ahead of time.
so after Mr. Weber, then you're good until 6:30.
Terrific. So let me get, he's on Garden Drive, right?
Yes.
I said pretty, I have that.
All right.
I'll come down and get him in a couple of minutes. Thanks, Karen.
All right, you're welcome.
If you can feel it tonight, please come back again next year. If you have to you can't feel it again until the next reevaluation in 5 years. Yeah, and so, I mean, we hear it today, so I'll present it. So, I mean, so let's hear it.
As I said, when it comes, again, I wish, it looks what it's good, it isn't it, I have the outside, now, the house, finishes already, I don't know, I want to finish our mouth, that's it, he's not myself, he's not,
Yeah.
I can use my other.
You're fine anyway.
All right. Well, we'll let you know.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Of course, it was a pleasure.
All right, you too, take care. Bye.
Hello, it's 6 o'clock. Do you want us to send lunch? Okay, thank you. All right, you're welcome. All right, I'll see you bye. Here's what your opportunity is by testimony, that's why you believe market value of the home on our city market value, for $955. Market value is the home of the CSA on the city. So
advisors, real estate, and then talk about market survey. I was the only buyer. So, and a month and a half, 2 months later, we got it raised at 11% higher. That's what all.
We just had a field all day.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh, really?
But that's okay. That's what we're here for. If you could sit in the blue chair.
Sure.
And if you want to just close that, because we get a lot of echo.
Okay. Yeah, all my friends at the beach are really upset.
That's a lot of appeals too, yes. As I said, my name is Catherine. I'm one of 9 members. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great, yeah, thanks.
I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. And my role today is to understand your appeal, make sure I have the right documentation, to do the best that we can, and then I will present to a majority of the other board. So we'll have at least 5 people.
Okay.
I present, you just make sure that I've got the right information to present, and then we will deliberate and vote.
Okay.
And within a week after the vote, you'll get in the mail the decision notice.
Great.
Okay, so.
And so ultimately from this, you want me to tell you what I think I should get, or like we talk, like?
I cannot speak for the board, but it is a conversation,
Okay,
so
cool.
that I can present. So
Okay,
I've gone through here, and there's a little script. We are being recorded because of COVID.
Yep.
We're all recording, so
Yep.
I want to make that clear. And as that, I'm saying the appeal is starting at 5:59. This is appeal number 413 for property 8 Garden Drive in Fairfield, Connecticut, owned by Matthew and Brianna Weber. Matthew Weber is here currently, and the town has valued the property at $447,800. Mr. Weber thinks the fair market value should be $390,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Terrific. If I can swear you in, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. And there's a piece of paper there for you to sign, and if you put that on the corner of the table, I'll pick it up and put it in the file.
Okay.
Okay, and hearing starts at 5:59, so we can hear that on the tape. And it is you and Diane. We're good. Okay. Mr. Weber, I went through and you presented, the house is not unique. There are several homes just like it on the street.
Wow.
You've given us 3 sales, 57 Garden, 45 Green Lawn, and 244 Melville to act as comp.
Yep.
Terrific. They
And I have
have
more.
sold within the pardon?
And I have more
Okay.
as well.
And they have all sold for $350,000, $392,500, and $370,000. I know that you did say 45 Green Lawn was $375,000. So that would be my first question, because when I go back to the vision appraisal that you had, the final price seems to be $392,500. I can show you, but that still does show.
Okay.
I think it's $375,000. I just wanted to,
Okay.
we've got
It
to
sold at 390. I knew there was one at 392. Let me see if I updated it. What was it? 45.
And that's right, and that just may have been, in your letter it says 375. So.
Oh
just
yeah, I must have said yeah.
Which is fine. Don't worry. We're just.
Oh, I see that too. Because I printed out the vision summary 392.5. I don't know. Maybe I just made a mistake. Sorry.
Well, no, that's all. You just say the truth. We're just here to make sure we're all on the right page. Okay. And I just want to confirm, my understanding with, so there I have it. They're all, kind of 2 families, and each side, is it a side or an up and down?
The side, yeah.
Side.
Yeah.
Side to side, and they each have 2 bedrooms, 1 bath,
Yep.
and they're about 800 square feet.
Per side, yep.
Yeah, per
Yep.
side.
Yeah, they're about 1,600 square feet, and then they were all built post-World War II. Melville Village is what it's called, right? There's really 2 styles of properties there, but this is that we call them the 2 and 2 in the neighborhood.
Okay.
There's 2 bedrooms on each side. The other ones are 3 and 1, so.
Right.
So, some people have added, you know, mudrooms, additional space, additions, whatever, right? And so my house here at 8 Garden Drive has small mudrooms on it, right? Fully closed mudrooms. That's the only difference, right? That's a little bit of enclosed area.
It's a little, right, so
Yeah.
that you don't just walk right in.
Yeah, and then our land lot is, I think, the largest lot in the neighborhood, which I think is part of the,
So let me see, how much are we talking, but it's one lot, but you do have 17,000 square feet.
yeah, the lot is probably double most of them. A lot of the lots are like 1/10 of an acre, you know? So there's, you know, it's just, the sewer line runs through the backyard all the way to the back of the property, and then there's, Melville Fields are back there, so.
So the excess property is not a lot.
It's not a lot.
Okay.
It's not a building lot, it's not usable, it's not
And you
buildable.
have an easement for the sewer line?
Yeah, it's on,
It's there.
it's on the town maps, you know, it's like, yeah.
But that's, you know, you can't just go out and build another house out there.
Yeah.
No, that's, we need to qualify that. Okay. All right. And you said you had a few more comps, or is there, you know, what else is gonna?
Yeah, there were.
Let's say, all fall in that, fair market value of high threes?
Yeah, there's a couple things, right? There was, well, there wasn't a sale, but there's a home at 25 Green Lawn Drive that's significantly bigger, right? My home is 39% smaller. I think it came out at like, you know, 20, I forget the square footage, but my home is 39% smaller than this home. It's in the same neighborhood. There's this one where they put on additions, and we are assessed at the same value.
Okay.
And I'm like, whoa. You know, it's significantly bigger.
Do you have their field card or their vision?
I have the field card, yeah. That is for 25 Green Lawn.
And could I have that? Would you give me your copy?
Yeah. I have all the field cards for the comps that I listed here, and,
I think they're all here.
is it easier?
Or vision appraisal.
Yeah, the vision
You know,
appraisal.
all of those have been digitalized, so they're all, when
You
we
can-
do
you
our
can-
deliberations, and I'll tell you that the secretary's done a phenomenal job. We have a whole spreadsheet, and it's all just click and link.
You can
and-
see
and we
immediately,
just
oh,
go
good.
down there and put them on.
Yeah.
That said, if you would like them all entered into your formal record, I would not deny you that for the field, but,
If you think it's necessary, I don't care.
personally, I think it just gets so much data that
Yeah,
sometimes I'm not looking at what I
It's all
need to
public
look at.
anyway,
And that's
right?
like-
Yeah, this is coming up
what
as,
some people say they want, so I'm giving you that option, but
yeah.
I'm telling you, I need the 25 green lawn.
Okay, I've got 25 Green Lawn here. It's a 2,600 square feet living space.
Oh, okay.
So, you
Because
know,
of all the additions they've done.
yeah, they put on, you know, they built up like a whole other apartment there, basically. But, it doesn't show up, you know, it doesn't comp out if you get like if you get a certified appraiser, they're gonna say the square footage is too big, it doesn't comp.
Well, because of the rentals, or they may not be renting it out.
No, they're renting it out.
Okay.
It's a rental.
Okay.
So
you
is
get
it,
both of yours,
yep,
both of your units.
yep.
And what is the rent for a two-bedroom, one bath?
I'm getting 1,700 right now, which I think is probably the highest in the neighborhood. But, you know, I'm a business owner, you know, I'm a finance person, and I, you know, put a lot of thought and care into marketing it, which I know a lot of my friends that live in the neighborhood or rent in the neighborhood, they don't.
I have a vacation rental, and I'm shocked at what people do and don't do, and I'm like, would you please, she's a booking agent, and like you said, there's no vacancies, no down, and it makes a difference.
It does, right?
For sure, but it's good to know, I mean, you know, we don't value how often it's rented, but it's good to know what the rent is, even though.
Yeah, and I had a, you know, the sales comparison approach is definitely putting us.
Just because you're a better renter doesn't mean you're property. That's where I'm
I should be
going. I'm
paying
still
attention
looking
to
at the value of the.
Thank you.
Okay, that's where I'm going now.
Yeah.
I get nervous with everything you tell. We're gonna take something, but that's what I mean. Okay, so this is really good to have, and again, I'm looking at their land is, 266, and your land value is at 330, so that's really driving.
And it's more, you know,
And your
more,
improvements are similar,
right, which doesn't make sense, right,
well,
to me.
that's,
That's
I
why.
can present on that, yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, I'm looking at like, okay, my assessment went up 25% from where it was last year. We were already being assessed higher. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, why am I going up so much? And I understand, you know, taxes are going up. We got to pay for, you know, everyone that works here has got to get their raises, and we got to pay for the landfill issue and whatever else is going on in the schools, but.
Well, and our role right now is to make sure that, you know, everybody, the assessments are right so that everybody gets that share. We're not here to determine share of what.
Yes, I know.
So you understand.
I totally understand that. Yeah, my understanding is the average appraisal went up like around 7%.
The townwide seems to have done that, yeah. So, you know,
like, I'm comfortable with 7%, more than comfortable with that. You know, I think maybe we're probably, you know, could go a little higher. I think that we're probably in a range of 385 to 420, which is like a 7 to 17% increase from last year. So I put that in my summary here.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yes, and I did. Was that the summary that I have here?
No, this is something I prepared for today. I looked at, okay, what's the 2019 appraised value, the 2020 appraised value, Zillow's estimate, income approach. We did a sales comparison approach that a bank appraisal did at 430, which is like, you know, these guys come in from like out of town. They don't, the comps, there's one comp I see in here from Stevens Lane, which is like closer to Home Depot than it is this neighborhood. It just doesn't.
Because they have to reach out past the neighborhood.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of sales either.
And that's what they have to come up with their magic number 5 exactly, because sometimes they're outside of the time frame or they prioritize.
And my understanding is like the municipal appraisals are really like square footage basis, perimeter, bedrooms, bathrooms, and they're, you know, they go in a sampling of homes to see conditions, but, you know, I'm actually about to go like clean up, you know, there's holes in the wall, they gotta get fixed, there's stuff, wood rot, it's not, you know, it's an old house and it just needs to be maintained, so.
Well, I appreciate the information that you brought in. I definitely have these comps. It's good to have, you know, maybe not a sale, but one that is appraised at similar value to yours. And then do you have any other documents you'd like to enter into?
Well, yeah, this is just what I printed out from today, and like, I just looked at what were the duplex sales. The duplex sales, the back is the duplex sales in the past 6 months of similar size, that I got right from Vision, and then there's like a little summary of stuff that I have. I do have the bank appraisal, but I'm not sure how helpful that is. It's just, you know, the bank's appraisal.
Well, that was an income approach, which we're still treating it as residential property because it's less than the 4 units.
But that would be like on the high end, you know, an investor would look at that and say, I need to get it for 420 or less. So if we were going to sell it, it would definitely go for less than that.
And is this because you also get better rents than the average?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's based on you getting the 1,700 for the income approach?
Yeah, I know other homes that are similar, they're getting like $1,450, $1,500.
Right.
So it's, you know.
So that's what I was questioning. I'm going to mark this because then this will go into the record, okay?
Yeah, that's basically the income approach is like 10% of the gross annual receipts or so, like it's 85 to 90% of the gross annual rents times 10. So like the price to cash flow is 10.
Well, Mr. Weber, I think this is good information and not too much with all the field cards and try to being brief. Well, because there's only so much time and how many papers to go through that
Yeah.
are pertinent. So I appreciate your style of presentation and the information that you brought.
Thank you.
And if you don't have any other questions for me, I did go through that we're gonna deliberate, and you'll get a decision and all that.
I'll look forward to hearing what you say.
And, if you don't have any more questions for me, we will conclude the hearing at 6:12.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Nice meeting you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Have a good
My
night.
sister, I hope she upholds the name.
She does a great job at it.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Have a good night.
You too. Straight down. So that conference.
Oh, okay. Great, thank you. Hey, how are you?
Thank you.
Mayor Cassidy? Yes. And you own 44 Ashland Lane? Great. And the town has the property for $35,000. And I already had you sign a bigger so, here, so basically, for today, market value of the home is $750,000. That's the that market value is what your house is likely to go on because we have to take that on. Okay. Perfect. So, I have your information, whenever you're ready to kind of go over.
Sure. So I look at the more proper summary and I created about the house.
Perfect. They just like you here.
Just to help you out, I also got some cash points for the copies that are on there. Including
Brilliant. Okay.
yes. Still call it. Okay. All right, so first of all, so 44 asking for, you know, where that location is. Yeah. So look, there's a usually virtual the reason I think that's all is you know all of the I think everybody appreciates that valuations differ really close to the beach.
Right.
Now or someone else. So valuations of those areas higher than valuations of mine.
Hi, is your phone
Or really the money, so the rent is, you know, 60 miles and a half. Yeah, so that's close to so, what is it? So we bought the house, and it was 2019, for $850,000. On our first investment, for evaluation, fair market value evaluation, was $850,000. Current value is down 845. Yes. The valuation is discussing is 120. So the one thing I agree with in terms of town is we have to yeah, that the value of the property is actually right. The question for you is how much is that value really go down? So obviously, that's only $11,000. Okay, so and just to also, if you don't okay. So anyway, so these bonds gathered so the cost you have in the schedule, they're all for the year, I guess you call it the issue. They're all in 7 ounces. That's all in so they're all very similar to my house. Bedroom, but so in my mind, the whole pretty simple. Yeah. So all these fair value values every single one of them is low. Some of them are much greater. Right. But the lowest one is $5,000 less than their but they were used right there on that in my mind. You know, my position is I'm entitled to the injunction, which is much greater than a month. 5 of the 7 that was, yeah, will be you look just at the improvements yeah, so, to the Pennsylvania, you got yeah, again, it's $60,000 to $180,000. So again, I know. One of the documents also similar to mine. I couldn't really find that someone buys all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but we looked at that was July 2000. That was $1,000.
Hello, Mr. Roloff?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm calling from Fairfield Town Hall for part of the Board of Assessment Appeal.
Sure, Catherine, right?
Catherine, that's correct.
Right.
Okay.
How are you? And I'm Ed, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Ed.
Father. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I do need to say a few things, process-oriented in that the call is being recorded. Want you to know that. And for the record, we are starting the appeal at 6:32 p.m. on the 8th for appraisal number 161 for the property at 181 Fairfield Woods Road. The owners as trustees are Phyllis Roloff and Edward Roloff. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct.
And I'm speaking with Edward.
You are?
Terrific. The town has your property valued at $217,200, and you're requesting a reduction to $211,400?
That's correct.
Okay. I need to swear you in, Mr. Roloff. So if you could raise your right hand.
I will raise my right hand.
Okay, do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much. I need to put down a few numbers here. 632 we started at, and this, and initial. Okay, that's all for finding the things on the hearing. Okay, so Mr. Roloff, I haven't had a chance to review your file, and I believe your appeal centers on asking for a fair market reduction for the detached garage and the patio. Is that correct?
Fair market reduction for the garage, yes. For the patio to be eliminated, it's the only unit in the development that has listed as an outbuilding the patio, which every first floor unit in the development has.
And the other units do not include that. That's correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. Okay, no other units. Terrific. Okay, have there been, so normally we look at, sales, and now we know you can't sell the garage by itself. But do you see that, are there any comparable sales in Dogwood to, substantiate the price, or to give me a little more background?
Actually, as far as I can tell, there was only one sale of a unit without a garage.
Okay.
In Dogwood at 157 Fairfield Woods Road. Well, I'm not keeping any secrets. That unit supposedly its list price, it sold for its list price at $249,900.
Okay.
And and its assessment at that point was $162,000.
And when was that sold?
According to what my broker sent up to me, it was sold on November 2nd of 20.
Oh, terrific. Okay.
Okay, so what I was looking to arrive at was that if you do the quick math on that thing, it brings you up to about an assessed valuation of about $170,000. What I'm arguing about is that for as long as I can remember, the $9,900 valuation for the garage has not changed. And at one time, the price of these units were much higher than they are today, even much higher than the $250,000 that other unit sold for. And everything has come down for all kinds of reasons. Today it popped back up a bit because of this pandemic and people leaving New York City.
Yeah.
Make it real fast. I think that $9,900 needs to come down the same way as the units have come down based on your appraisal, which your appraisal was based on the 2020 October 1st valuation.
Correct.
This sale was in November, just a tad later than that. And I'm sure you know about it. It's an open book. So that's the basis of my argument. I brought the thing down, and I emailed up to, were you the person I spoke to today?
No, I hear, and what I do, I am a member of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm sorry, I should have said this at the beginning, but my role tonight is to hear what you have to say, and then as one of the members, there will be at least five of us that will meet and deliberate, and I will present it at that point for the vote.
The point was, there was a Catherine Napolitano who I emailed up a little analysis of this morning that talked about the prices and so on of the appraisals and where things are and the $9,900. And, then you come to 80 Montauk Street, which is appraised by the same unit, same number of bedrooms on the first floor, same square footage. It's appraised at $200,200. And Montauk is a nice quiet street compared to Fairfield Woods Road and Stratfield Road, where everyone up there on Stratfield is assessed at $216,300, which is by $217,200 less than $900. So that's what that analysis shows. And then Montauk sort of jumps off the page at you. Of the roughly 18 units in the development that are the same size and the same number of bedrooms on the first floor and the same number of bathrooms.
Yes.
So that's why I am objecting to the $900, as I mentioned before, and that the $9,900 just hasn't come down. I mean, if the price if you look at the numbers between 2015 and 2020, the price went down 5.7%. Or wouldn't that mean that at least the garage would go down 5.7%?
Well, I think the garage it's just a total improvement line that gets. So the garage may be in that total. That's what I look at when I.
No, it's not.
It's not. Because I see the condo.
45%.
Okay, this is, okay. Because the condo is appraised on your field card. Oh, condo options, I bet that's how it is in the condo, the 10,000, that's the garage, the patio.
Yeah, 10,800, right?
Right, okay. So, that's in the 217, and then if it was depreciated, I see what you're saying, yes. Okay, I'm following you now. I wanted to make sure it wasn't in another. It's unusual, most of the other condos and other, developments, they don't have the garage out separate like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could help us, I would appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time, and the information is very good, and I will follow up for the analysis that you had sent in, including Montauk Street, and I'll be making the presentation within the next couple of weeks. We're going to do all the deliberations in March, and as soon as we make the decision, within 7 days, you will receive in the mail the decision letter.
Okay, let me give you one little heads up on something. I don't know if anyone else has picked it up. A few of these units, all of them have a fireplace at $3,000. Right? A couple of them have a fireplace at $4,500. And these are the same units. So if someone has that to bring up, that piece of information is right. I did that from reading field cards.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Kathleen, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate yours too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Take care. You have a good evening. How are you doing? Good, I'll come down and get Mr. Ross.
Okay, because you're,
6:45?
yes, and you're 7 there.
Well,
I know.
I'm on time, so
You
that was
are.
good.
Going behind, but,
No, I do try to.
no, it's true. I'm trying to I don't know if people lose track, so I just like to knock, so just, you know.
You got my back.
Yeah.
I got yours.
Thanks. You're on that.
Mr. Ross, yep, that's them up. Thank you.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Mr. Ross.
How are you?
Good to
I
see
sit
you.
right here?
Please, it's a blue chair. Thank you. Can you just shut that?
Sure.
It gets a little noisy.
I hear you.
Ceilings and
All right.
soundproofing, so. You bought a new house. Welcome to Fairfield, or
Yeah,
you've
no.
been around?
I was on Galloping Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and, I got remarried, and the wife said,
I want my own house.
So I said, you got whatever you want.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I did have to introduce myself. There's a few, protocol here, so you just know we are being recorded. Everything, the hearings are all being recorded. I'm Catherine. There's 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm one of them. And my role tonight is that I can take your case, understand what you're saying, make sure that we have all the right documentation, and then I can present to a majority of the board. So at least 5 other people will hear it. Well, 5 people in total, 4 other people. And then we will deliberate and vote. So that my role tonight is not to give you a decision, but to make sure that I understand where you're coming from.
Where I'm coming from, where I want to go. Got it.
For finding things on the recording, the hearing is starting at 6:50. It is for appeal number 10, address of 535 Hoyt Hill. And Mr. Rock, the owner, is with us to present. And David, the town valued your property at $1,107,700, and you have a fair market value of $1 million.
Right, which is just what I'm proposing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you could raise your hand, I'll swear you in, and we'll have our discussion. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. And if you would sign that sheet of paper which documents that you were sworn in, then I will sign it as well, and that will be part of the record. So, you rescheduled earlier, but I did have a chance to go through some of your paperwork here. And this is our chance to talk it out. So, to confirm, you bought in June of 2020, and you paid $1,039,000.
Correct.
Okay. And you did have an informal hearing because, there were things. So can you let me know what was corrected? Because there was a partial given there. So what did they correct? And did we get it all right, or is there still more correction?
No, so when we were looking for houses, my wife and I, we came across this house, and it had some issues. And the taxes were really high, and so I asked the owner at the time. He couldn't sell it. It was on the market for 2.5 years.
Wow.
He couldn't sell it, and I said, your taxes are incredible, and they don't even line up with what you're even trying to sell it for. And he was an older gentleman, and it was fun. And so he said to me at the time, he said, well, I have all of the paperwork in with the town to get another appraisal or get an adjustment. And so I said, great. I bought the house, and then my wife and I followed up with the town and said, do you have the paperwork? The town said, we don't have anything. We said, okay, fine. So we started from fresh. And so then we contacted the town, and the town, Fairfield said, why don't you just wait? Because we're going through our 5-year phase and see what you get the first time out, and maybe it'll be less. And so then we were reading in the patch that Saxco Hill and Huygens Hill, the numbers were coming way down. So we got, in the mail, we got 1.231,700, which was a lot less than what it was. So that was it was a step in the right direction. But I said, we just bought this for 1.039, so why don't we, this is still way off. It's almost 200,000 difference. So then we went and we said, well, let's do the informal hearing. And so we had an informal hearing. The gentleman was very nice. And then we received some paperwork after that had us down lower to 1.107,700, which was, again, a great step in the right direction, but it was still...
Come back for the third time.
It was still $69,000 above what we just literally paid for the house. And in that, what was interesting, in that informal hearing, he said to me, well, you are the market. You just bought your house. You are the market. And so I said, yeah. And so I was kind of shocked when I didn't get what I was asking for, because I didn't think I was asking for anything too crazy. I was asking for just below what I just paid it for. And so I'm here on the third time. I've done all the comps. I've looked everywhere in the town. I don't even know if there's a situation where the town could do an appraisal amount for a property that was just purchased that's above the purchase price, but
Well,
maybe that happens, I don't know.
And it really is sort of this algorithm, because we're given by the state October 1st.
Right.
So we're trying to get to that October 1st date. Now that's, and you know, we all disagree. So all I can say is the assessor tries very hard, and he does a great job.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, did they just, I'm more curious, is there anything wrong on the field card? Or is there anything that, like, what if the informal hearing, they just kind of like crossed out the 1231 and gave you an 1107? Like, we don't know why they
I don't know
changed
why, I don't know, because I thought that with my conversation with the gentleman, I thought for sure that I would be good, that he would take my number, that it would be all right. Maybe he couldn't go that low, maybe
or
there's some...
did he take the 1039 and then up it to October? I don't know. That's what I'm just curious. But we don't know that.
I don't know.
So the next step really is, well, let's go through a few of these costs.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're looking for definitely comparable sales and the fair market value. So I think you have, you know, there's two issues with, that you're bringing to light. And one is, if I look at your letter with the, the same
I got a copy,
you know, you have an analysis on the appraisal and the assessment and what was sold for the numbers.
Yeah, and
okay, and the percent, so the green column is the appraisal price discount from the last sale? Is that what I'm looking at?
Right, so I did,
okay.
I just picked a house. I tried to pick things that were very close to me and that were in the same sort of general field, you know, houses that were comparable in price and in location.
Okay.
And that their sale, that they were sold on within a year and a half of when, you know. So I wanted to give the tightest analysis that I could possibly give you. And so I just did prior taxes, the old tax assessment, the old town appraisal, and then what happened in the new...
and that new town appraisal is the 2020 numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you're 1170, so I'm following your numbers, I'm a little more familiar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did old and new, and
so
then...
the three sales at the top
really
fit in the revale period as well. You know, there's a 2020 sale.
Yeah.
And so what you're showing here is, you know, they actually have the largest discount.
Yeah, and
the most recent sales have the largest discount. And I'm just making sure I'm reading this right.
That is correct, yeah.
So that would be point one. And point two, you know, knowing that we need to really focus on comparable sales.
Right.
I'd like to focus on those three because they meet the time frame as well.
Okay.
So if we're talking about those as houses, the 969, like now, are those in here as costs?
Yep.
And maybe you can help, you know, flesh out, because sometimes when there's so much paper.
Yeah, I know.
You know, you're thorough, but then we have to be succinct. So compare the 552 Hoyt sales to you. Compare those top three to yours.
Yeah, I mean,
let's find the 552 back here.
The 552, I see it from my house.
Okay.
And I mean, it's just right across the street, right down. There's like a little road there.
See how close it is in your address. Right.
Yeah, and it's.
So why did that sell for? Like, what is yours? You know, that's sold.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen the inside of the house. I never really looked at it.
Is it about the same size?
It's about the same size. I actually had numbers that went out. I did acreage, and then I did size, square foot, all that stuff. And all of those numbers are the same.
You know, was it built, is it sort of the same feel as yours? Like, this one in 1950s, and yours is a 2000. When was yours built? You know, that's sort of information.
Yeah, well, mine was built in 1998, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so
they're like 30% different from me. You know, they're like wildly lower than me. I'm actually asking. I'm not even asking to get their discount. I'm asking to get just something that's a little bit below, which will keep me somewhere in the 2% range. I'm not asking for the 26 and the 30% off discount. I'm
No.
asking for,
And I'm trying to get to,
Yeah.
those are comparable sales, let's
Yeah.
just, because the assessment that comes out, or the appraisal that comes out is, it's not beyond us, but
Right.
our job is really to focus on the fair market value. So
Yeah.
again, I just look at those three that are right there,
right,
and again, the 969 is just a little low, like, you know, if you, you know what I'm saying, your sale price for the
Yeah.
top three is right in there.
yeah,
I mean, there, you know, there's two
Oh,
a
yeah.
little higher and the 969, so that's what I'm trying to, an appraiser would sit there and really come up
Yeah.
with an adjusting factor. I just want to
Right.
do that conversationally.
yeah. And you would see the same number of bathrooms, you'd see the same number
That's where I'm
of
going.
square foot acreage, you'd see the same fairly, you know, it's the same area, so we're all
Okay.
kind of similar houses.
And I don't want you to leave here until I know that they're in here. I see the 120 here, I see, okay, that's where, I'm
Yeah.
gonna even clip those pages so I don't have to find them again.
Yeah.
Because then when I present, that's how we do our deliberations.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
come
I
up with-
came, you know, it was refreshing myself, and I was looking at this again, and I was like, boy, I really should ask for like even less than, you know, $1 million because of the other two houses that are really pulling this whole thing down. But you know, look, I love the town. I don't have a problem paying taxes. I just want to, you know, be treated fairly, and so I just picked a number which I thought was acceptable, which, you know, could be an easier sell, I guess.
And that's where we come up with the fair market value.
Right.
If it's sold, and if it gets a little adjusted up, then, and I will let you know, if there's a discount down, there's really like this coefficient of dispersion. It's a little statistical for me.
Right.
We're not going to get the appraiser exactly to what you pay. You know, there's always the market conditions or what. So there's always a little, but your point, I'm not missing your point.
Right.
I'm not missing your point.
Well, and here's a funny aside. So when I sold my house on Galloping Hill, I sold it for, I think $5,000 more than what I bought it for. And I asked the old owner, and because his assessment came in, or his appraisal value came in at like $699. I sold it for $800. And so I said to him, hey, what happened with your taxes? He said, because I figured, well, the town figured out that house is worth a lot more now. And he said, oh, I went down. And I said, you went down? So, you know, it's like inverse. You know, he got a break by paying for a house that's well more than what the town.
We paid more and the taxes came down.
Yeah,
You paid,
right. And I got the other direction.
so you paid more and your taxes did not.
Right. Or I paid less than what it should have been, and it didn't go that way.
But either way, it's not consistent.
Correct.
You know, to at least go with consistency. So,
And his discount is, you know, 30% off of the numbers, and, you know, just like the first two years.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's the page I'm gonna, you know, I focus in, now I have these clips, not that I won't look at all the other ones, but I think those are the ones that I can really.
And I didn't want to also confuse it with more numbers and more comps and more.
No,
things.
because
I just
the
think
more
it's
you
overkill.
kind of, right.
Yeah.
So if you're confident that I understand the issue and that I have enough documents here and I understand which one, I want you to know, like, I can tell you how the process is going to play out, but do you have any other questions for me?
No, I just wanted to be heard and present my case. I think you understand it, and whatever you guys decide,
I do, and
that would be great.
I can present it, and then it's a vote on, so but I will present it, and you'll be notified within a week of the vote. Our deliberations are being scheduled as we speak, so, you know, we're hoping we're going to hear everybody by March, the end of March.
Yeah.
So that's the timing. You'll get a letter, and if your appeal is denied, you can come back. If it's granted, you have to wait till the next reval year to come back. That's the state thing. And if you don't like the decision, you can go to court, and there will be instructions in that. Like I said, there's some robotics here. And I definitely thank you for your participation. I think that's great. I'm glad you're staying in Fairfield. Thank you for the information and taking time to run it through with me.
Great.
We're done.
We're good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
conclude at 7:04.
7:04, record time.
Okay, we're all done, okay.
I sign this and I'll take
Yeah,
off.
but that'd be
Okay.
great, and if you don't mind, you can send up the next person, ask if there's a Mr. Greenspan there.
Mr. Green.
Mr. Greenspan,
Okay.
that'll save Karen and I from running back and forth.
Okay,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. Have a great day.
Hello, Mr. Greenspan, how are you?
no, you Catherine?
I am, you're in the right place.
Casella. I'm Casella.
Are you looking for Kathleen?
Oh, I don't know, maybe so.
There's another one. I'm looking for Mr. Greenspan. What's your address? No, what's your address?
704 Sheffield Road?
That is not on my list. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Wrong,
I can
over
go
there.
down that way.
Thank you.
Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Terrific.
Greenspan and Greenspan.
Okay.
My son Manny Greenspan and Marshall Greenspan.
Okay. If you just have a seat,
Sure.
rather than run down and get you, I'm just gonna pull up some of the paperwork now.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
And here's the affidavit, I don't know if we need it or not.
Okay. Great. I'll pick that up at the end, and, nice to meet you both. Welcome. So you're Marshall?
Yes, I'm
And
Marshall.
you're
Manny. I'm Manny.
Manny?
Yes.
Okay. That is.
Here's the affidavit.
I'm Catherine,
Yeah, Catherine.
and I want to let you know that everything's being recorded. We have these listening devices here, so, I'm Catherine. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and my role tonight is to hear you, so that I can present your case, to make sure I have the documents and I understand what you're saying, and you're confident in that. And then, the majority of the board will meet, so at least 5 of us, will meet to deliberate and vote. But my role tonight is to get the information right. So, and in that vein, I've got to turn to my right notes. That's it. And we're going to start the meeting at 7:07. This is for appeal number 310. The property is 205 Rutland Avenue. Owner is Marshall Greenspan, who's present, and his affidavit, appellant Manny Greenspan. The town has valued your property at $200,000, and you are requesting a reduction to $150,000. Is that all correct?
That is correct, yes.
Great. So the record is showing well, and then I need you to raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. And I need to give you one more. So if you would sign this, that you've been sworn in, we can then discuss the appeal. We just put that, yeah. Please. You were both sworn in, that's all that matters. Okay. All right, sir, so I see you have half of a duplex.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And I see the picture here. Are you on the right or the left?
The left.
Okay.
The left in the picture.
Left, okay. Terrific. Left. All right, now, I have to say, I think you, I need some of the refiner points, because really your land has no value because there's a flood zone on it. The whole floodway.
It was actually a floodway, and we found out after we bought it. A flood zone, I guess, is once in 100 years. The floodway is every time the water comes down, it's supposed to be there. The other one, basically when they built the place, they were building it on Freeport Street, the other one. They basically dug out that whole entire area, made it even worse, and built up their other place. You know what we're talking about, the condos? Mm-hmm. The condos, they dug them all out, and they put them up there. So that's what became a floodway.
Sorry?
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I think we included a map in the package.
Yes, but, I was like, wow, no land value, this is the first one I've seen with no land value. And I'm a big like, no, we can't reduce anything below a certain land value. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to think of this in a different way.
In the past 5 years, 6 years is the last assessment, it flooded 4 times. Once was a big Rooster River flood where the cars were just floating around. I lost 3 vehicles there myself.
So is this a rental property?
Yes.
My son was living there, he was renting there. And he didn't like the flood, so he moved out.
And we was rented to someone else, and they got everything destroyed.
And so it's difficult to rent. Is there often a vacancy or?
I mean,
We were very fortunate, we knew somebody who was looking for a place when he moved out.
Okay.
And they moved in, yes.
It's hard because you can't not disclose the flood zone. You can't not disclose you probably will lose stuff in the basement. You probably will get your house flooded. It happens. I've gotten quotes with a lot of times when the assessor goes through, they look at property and square footage and they can put assessment. Problem is they don't really include the extra cost to a buyer for flood insurance.
Oh.
Because
that's the biggest point.
If you're going to, here, I'll show you something.
And you say you don't have flood insurance?
Well,
Fortunately, I didn't need it because I purchased
There's
it
no
cash.
mortgage, so it's not required.
The bank requires it.
That's a quote I got for flood insurance.
You can put that, yeah, just a
And, but on every dollar of flood insurance, it costs $1,900 to $1,200 a year, it's going to be, that's what it's basically at 2 or 3% is going to be effectively $20,000-$30,000 in value.
And for my understanding, would you be allowed to build on this
Oh, no.
again?
Oh.
Like, what happens when you can't build?
The assessor said, I don't know what, when I talked to the guy in planning, when I first bought it, we were here last year, he goes, I don't understand why they let anyone build there. We would never let anyone build anything there again.
And I'm sorry, when did you buy it?
5 years ago.
Okay, so you bought it.
So basically, after we bought it, we came here, and we came to have it assessed, and I talked to the guy in planning and zoning, and he goes, oh, we never let anyone build there at all. It was totally not supposed to be so.
But you couldn't expand the footprint, you can't, all you can do is maintain what's there.
Correct.
And if it's depreciated beyond that,
Actually,
you won't be able to build.
if it got destroyed, I don't know if we'd be able to rebuild.
Right, and you don't have flood insurance, so that's right with it. So it's kind of just the right.
Well, I call the tenants every time we get a heavy drain saying, make sure your car is not in the circle.
Oh, I'm sure you're a good landlord.
And everyone does.
But anyway, that's only part of the issue.
And what is your,
The other part was other properties in the area which had sold and what they sold for. There have been very, very few sales.
and
in the
what do
area.
you rent the property for?
I rented for $1,450.
Okay. Okay. Now, yes, comps are very important, so. And sometimes, if you could just, because everybody has a different format for looking at these, so what do you have that's sold?
The main one, there's only sold 2 of them, and the one that's closest in the picture is the one at 116 Brentwood Avenue.
Okay, this is yours on Zillow, is this, show me that one?
Oh, no, keep going.
Keep going, okay.
In that package, I wasn't sure, I put in 2 sales, 2
The sales,
listings, and 2 that had been withdrawn. But I think the only ones that are applied are the ones that are actually sold.
did I get, this looks like it.
That looks like it.
116 Brentwood?
116 Brentwood.
Okay,
It was assessed for 118, it sold at 119. It was built in 2001, whereas mine was built in 1986.
okay.
They have central air, we do not have central air. They have 3 bedrooms, we have 2 bedrooms. They have 2 full baths, we have 1 full bath. They have 1,200 square feet, 1,288 square feet, and we have 1,080.
Okay, and they sold.
Oh, they have 2-car garage for each side, we have a 1-car garage for each side.
Okay, and they sold for $199.
For $199, and it sold during that period in
Right.
question,
Yes.
the valuation period.
Okay, I'm gonna take this out of order.
Yeah, that's the main one, I think it's the most applicable.
Okay, and you said there was another one?
Well, the other ones was, very, very large, significantly larger. The only other one that sold. And that was actually on the same street.
Oh, 130 Brentwood.
Yes,
Okay.
but that one is huge. And I didn't realize how large it was at the time.
Yeah.
It went for 300.
And
But
this
it's
is how
three
far
baths.
away, it still runs, is that a parallel street to you?
It's on the
Other side of the river.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way over here, so.
Part of the floodway
We're over
as
here.
well, or no?
We're here right next to the river.
No, okay.
They're over there.
Okay.
It's
And
showing-
they're not in the floodway, so they're not.
That's correct.
North Street, is there another street over there?
There's mine, and some people live in Fishhouse. I can give you a flood.
Fairchild Avenue, right?
Yeah, Fairchild Avenue is where they built the new apartment houses that made our
The one that
flooding force.
excavated, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's 1,800 square feet, we were 1,000 square feet.
All
So
right,
it's
so-
much, much bigger.
One of the challenges too with a smaller unit is pending their approval. When a buyer comes in, they're not writing a check for 200 grand, they're writing a check for 10, 2% or whatever they can afford. Well, the building, since it's one rental, there's only 2 owner occupied, not enough. Having 10% of the condo fee go into a reserve for, just a reserve for replacement. They don't have that. It's just basically a bunch of people who sit together a couple of years, so they don't have all the requirements they need to be a warrantable Fannie Mae condo.
Yeah, I wanted to point out to you, some of the other things in the package, I don't make one disregard. The 180, the Hibiscus Road was a listing at 189.9. The Fairfield Woods Road was a pending list price at 185. And, Knapp's Highway was a pending 199.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that one out and.
Yeah, then the other two were,
Which was the other one that was pending?
The only two that actually were sold that I could find comparable were those two on Brentwood.
Right, but you said pending is under contract, so, and you said that was the Knapp's Highway one?
That was a pending, got a deposit on December 2nd, and that was 185, and it's on Fairfield Woods Road.
Oh, Fairfield
apartment
Woods
40.
Road.
Now, this is also as of October, not necessarily as of December, correct?
Yes, but, you know, then there's the thought like, well, it really sold,
Yeah.
it had its contract by October, and it took a while to close.
So it's
So
pending
it's
in
trying
December.
to get it.
All the other seller reports give you the status right over here, right below the picture.
But if it's pending, that's December, so we're trying to use it as October.
Yeah. I tried to get ones that were within that,
Now
rating
also,
period.
Right.
Okay, and you come up with, because right now what I see is, you know, I'd still like to get that pending one for the 185,
Sure.
and then show,
You take it right out of the package right
and
here.
we would adjust it,
Let me see with the,
because yours is the 2-bedroom here, is this it, the 160, here we go.
if you give me the address of 185.
She's got it
The
there.
160 Fairfield Woods, I just want to pull that out,
Yep.
and so it was listed, the last price, and now you're aware that it's pending?
Yeah, now that's, of course, well
Oh,
up.
there it is, says pending, I see it, right.
See where it says pending?
Are you aware if it closed or not?
I can tell you.
I know, you're looking it up, right?
What's the address again?
160 Fairfield Woods Road, apartment 40.
And that's also too, way outside of flood zone.
That's way, way up there.
Absolutely, but,
Yeah.
it's also the 3 rooms, 1965, it gives me something more.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
Exactly.
because our.
And the Knapp's Highway is also pending at 199.9. But again, that's, well up into the,
I have 1,000, that's highway. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see this one.
Knapp's Highway, yes.
Okay.
Oh, it expired at 182.
Yeah, it expired and then.
Oh, I have that twice, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, apartment, no, it's Jupiter Apartments.
Oh, wait, is that the 160 River Road number 38?
The 182 is expired, it was apartment 28. Apartment 6 was pending.
Yep, I see that now. So if we could get the prices for that and then, you know, comparing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at vision, that's probably give you the most.
And yes, I understand that it's not quite your neighborhood.
That's correct,
You know,
Yeah, this is,
I mean, I.
right up against the, not only the river
I know.
behind it, and it's on the other side is the, I-95.
Right.
That's why it's a dead end.
Well, and I think the flood, like I said, I've never seen land reduced to,
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
so. I guess my other question is, I mean, 100, yeah. Did you go up your last time, what was your assessment before the 200 that is now?
I got it over here.
I've got it here.
Yeah, you've got it there, I think, in the data sheet. I think it was assessed, here, it assessed 140.
140. Now that's the assessment. I'm looking for the prior appraisal, which is still in here somewhere. I know that one. Here we go. 2019, 115.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And that's what I actually bought it for after it was on the market for almost a year.
Right. So it went from 115. So to summarize, it went your appraisal, town appraisal went from 115 to 200.
Yeah.
I just gave her the next person, that's my thought. It is in a floodway, so no value is given to the land. You rent it for the 1,400 above the 1,450, and we have the comp, which is bigger with 3 bedrooms, so it's definitely getting more, and closed in March of 2020 for 199. Is that like the pertinent
You got the right
information
facts.
that we think, and that's why you come up with a fair market value of 150?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So, that all said, I think I went through that, now I'll present to the at least 5, we will vote, you'll be notified by the end of the month, within 7 days of the, that, and if you're denied, you can come back next year. If you're not denied and we make an adjustment, you can't come back until the next 3 value year, or you could go to court. Well, every 5 years, so 2020, 2025. And the instructions for all of that will be in the decision letter.
Thank you.
The biggest challenge, as we said before, is because anyone who buys it is going to pay all the flood insurance. That could change anytime they do. If they knew how many claims were there in the building, it would cost them a lot more money than $1,200 for flood insurance. I was shocked when the number came in that low. I just called them today.
Yeah, me too.
My next door neighbor, she had a big mortgage. She bought it back when it was too high, and the bank put force insurance on her. She's paying she's at $280 a month. That was years ago when we talked to her.
Well, and I guess this would be for half of it, so you could say maybe it's 3,000. But
she's the other one on the other side. The bank, of course, is more, but the bank put forced insurance on her because they wanted to protect her. She's like $280, $300.
Well, if you have a mortgage, you have to have.
Correct.
And then the thing is now, if you have to have a mortgage, you have to get flood insurance. It's going to cost you more, or you can write a check and pay for it cash. So the only two out was there's one guy who's been there. He can't sell it for. He bought it in the 80s. My next door bought it in the 80s. Those two are all in cash.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Catherine.
Is it Kathy or Catherine?
Catherine.
Catherine. Sorry,
We
Catherine.
answer to a lot. It's one of those.
Kathleen is next door.
Kathleen is next door. We play tennis together.
Wow.
We answer to a lot.
And you have a name tag that says John.
I know. I have one there. I don't
Okay,
know.
let's let next speaker go in.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Enjoy the day.
nice to be greeted at the landing.
Well, we try to get everybody, and thank you, we're kind of close to schedule, but I know that we are running a little late. So I appreciate your patience in the wait.
Am I sitting here?
You are sitting there, and I sit behind the plexiglass.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
And everything's going to be recorded. We are live on the recording. So therefore, I have to say a few scripted things at the front. So, and then trust me, you'll have your chance. I don't hear you, but the hearing will commence at 7:25 p.m. This is for appeal number 219 for 203 Federal Street unit. Is it called Unit 12? House 12. And right now, I'm Edwin Rodbro.
Rodbro, right?
Rodbro, as the owner, is conducting the appeal. Thank you. Mr. Rodbro, the town has valued your home at $533,800, and you are asking for a fair market value of $512,340.
Yes.
Is that all correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so we're properly marked on that. Want to let you know my name's Catherine, and I'm one of 9 on the Board of Appeals. My role for tonight is to make sure that I understand your appeal, that I have enough documents so that I can make a presentation to a majority of the board, and that will be at least 5 members of us, and then we will vote and deliberate on it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how the process works.
Thank
My
you.
role is to understand and to be able to present with the right information. Okay.
Got it. Perfect.
If you could raise your right hand, I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to give you this form that is to sign that you were sworn in. I'll bring it over to you. You're all good? All right. And the start time for the recording. Okay. Terrific. If you could sign that. Thank you. Okay. Now I've had a little bit of time to go through your file. So please tell me, and just so you know, the focus on thank you for presenting the information. Did a great job. Thank you for focusing on, for being succinct and giving me a nice spreadsheet that I can call it back up. I appreciate that. It's so hard to go through a lot of pages without an index. And just so you know, the best information for us is the top of your spreadsheet here, where you have the homes that have sold in 2020. That's really most pertinent to the discussion of the fair market value, as we're trying to get to that October 1st fair market. So take it away, Ed.
Yeah, hey, good.
Okay.
So, yeah, I did read that in the application, that you were most interested in that, the most recent sales, I think going back, 2 years?
Well, it's a year around the October 1st date. Now, that's not to say that we can't, it's a unique property, but now is this right off Fort Hill Road?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I have a good picture in my mind.
You take Congress and just cross over to Fort Hill, and there you are.
Lovely development.
So so Catherine, there are 25 nearly identical homes there. They all look the same on the outside. They were all constructed about the same time, 95, 96. And while some have a little more square footage than others, or another bathroom or something, they all are very similar in size and nature. We own the building and the footprint of the building, and then the association owns the land, they own the street, they own the driveway, they maintain all of that with our assessment, our monthly assessment dollars. My home is sited directly on the Merritt at the end of Federal Street. So Congress, if one continued to the end and went straight ahead, you'd run right into my house.
Oh.
So my side and my backyard abut the Merritt Parkway.
Okay.
And I bring that up because all the other homes on that side of Federal Street that abut the Merritt have a berm or a natural barrier or a fence behind them and the parkway. My home does not. condition it was in when we purchased it. We purchased from an estate. We paid $390,000. The home is in its nearly original condition. So it has Formica countertops, it has its original furnace, it has original windows, it has, we replaced the carpet and paint. And I only bring that up to say that it's not in market condition. If one were to sell it today, and maybe it would sell for the $533 or something, it's not in that condition right now. And so I bring that up. I think the home is less expensive than the others for those two reasons. It's in, I guess, rundown condition, and it's cited right on the merit. I also raised the point that the square footage in the basement that is finished seems to be exactly reversed from what I saw in the sketches. We don't have quite that much square footage that's finished downstairs.
And what should the number be? It's at 900 and something now, and it should be...
Let's see, I have to pull up the field card.
Okay, I have that, so I was just wondering, is it the unfinished and the finished, so the 988 should be the 364?
Yes, more or less.
Okay.
More or less. I did not measure it, Catherine.
No, and, I mean,
More or
it
less.
may have some impact, but it's...
I think that is less important. Really.
Thank you for that.
I think it's less important than, the comps that I brought in.
The comps are definitely. So let's talk about those.
So I brought number one on the list of the comps that I shared, the house immediately adjacent to mine, but on the other side of the Merritt. So my house is on the Merritt. This is on the other side of Federal Street. So it's got an additional 30 feet or so from the Merritt from my house. It just sold. It just closed apparently in January for $489,000.
Okay.
And so it has the exact same square footage as mine. It's the same kind of home. It has finished basement space. It has a deck similar size to mine, a little bit bigger. And yet it is appraised for $512,900, and I'm appraised at $533,800.
Okay. And you would say, if you would take that 512 and say, okay, but I've got the merit, and I have that. So
I have the merit, and my home is not in, I don't know what condition I would call it. It's livable, but it's, it's not fixed up. I wouldn't pay top dollar for a house in this condition, and I didn't pay top dollar for it.
You're not complaining about what you paid for it. You're right.
Yeah, so I'm just comparing it to others. So, the next house on the list sold for $530,000 at 64 Crosby Street. It's appraised at $522,500.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
it's appraised for less than it sold, and it's appraised for something less than what my home is worth. 155 Federal. Let's see what I say about that one. It's appraised for $510,100. It's slightly larger than my home. It does have a privacy fence between itself and the Merritt.
And it also sells for $395,000, closer to what you sold.
Yeah.
So probably in more similar conditions.
Yeah, I wasn't inside it. I can't say. I really don't know what it looked like inside, but it sold recently. And then finally, 102 Crosby Street sold for $490,000, which is $100,000 more than my home sold for.
Right.
And again, it's only appraised for $480,100. It's only slightly smaller, but I think it's in a more desirable location. And the fact that Crosby Street kind of goes around the bend, and you're way off the Merritt at that point.
Right. Okay.
So that's really my contention. That if I were to show you all the other homes that have sold since I bought my home, there are a few that sold for more than the $538,000. But some did not. There's one that sold for $499,000 on Federal Street and so on.
And I assume that this list is very complete because you just listed out almost all of them.
I did list all the homes.
Right. So there's everything in the condo. There isn't like that one convenience you left off. This is a complete list of all. That was your criteria.
Yeah, I mean, if you count it up, you see there should be 25 homes on that list.
Right, and so...
And I get how it works. My next door neighbor to the left, Bob and Teresa, have lived there for 10 years or so. And their home is a little bit bigger than mine, and it's got the two-story berm behind it, but it's appraised less than my house.
But I understand, they've lived there a long time, they're not gonna get looked at, I guess, in that sense, because there's no recent transaction.
But we do see, even at the high price of 64 Crosby Street, the purchase price of 530 is still in, that's closer to what the town is saying yours is. But there are other properties that are not at that market value.
Right.
The town doesn't have them at those market values.
Not yet, not yet.
Okay. And so when I look at yours,
And so what I did, Catherine,
okay, but I do see, now yours, where is yours on this list?
it's highlighted in blue.
Oh, there we have blue, okay, and there we see the appraised value, okay.
And so all I did, and where I came up with this number where I request a reevaluation at 512,340, I just took all the appraised values for all the homes in the subdivision and averaged them out. What's the one in the middle? What's the average assessed valuation? That's really all I'm asking. I know I only paid $390, but I'm not asking you to assess my home for $400,000. I'm asking that it just be in the average range, which isn't a big deal.
And so that is the average of this column, the appraised value from the town?
Yes, for all 25 homes.
So the average town appraisal.
The average appraised value of all 25, yes, by the
Right,
town.
it's not an average sales price. I just want to make sure I know what
Yes,
it really
that's
is.
correct.
The average town appraisal
That's
for
correct.
all of them.
That's
Okay.
right. And I know some are bigger, some are smaller, some have 3 bathrooms and some have 2 bathrooms and that kind of thing, so.
Right. Did you think of, how many are exactly yours? Because that's right. Your square footage is the 2029. So would I assume that you and Federal Street, 184 Federal, are the same model?
More or less. No, they only have 2 full bathrooms according to their,
And you have 3.
yeah, according to their, appraisal.
So I see, because they're all really close. I would say, looking at this, the 1945 square footage, there's very few under 2,000 square feet. And there's really none over 2163. Oh, there's a 24 square foot. So there's a few out there, but I get where you were going.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's what I'm trying to show you.
And there's a few below that, and there's a few above that. So again, average.
Just taking the average, that's right.
Okay.
That's my whole case.
Well, I really appreciate you participating, and it's a pleasure to meet you and
Thank
be part of the process.
I appreciate your time.
Your time, information, and thank you.
You're a volunteer, I think that's great.
I'm a volunteer.
You're giving of your time, I
That
appreciate
person
it.
who brought me in is gonna hear about it. So, as you're aware, so I make a presentation, and then the vote, and then you hear about it. And if you don't like it, I went through all that with you.
Yes,
If you don't like it,
it's
you can go
final.
for it. Okay.
Well, as far as I'm concerned.
And so if you don't have any other questions for me, or if you feel you made your points, I think we can.
I did, I made my points. I did want to bring up, and I did in the narrative, that I discussed this with the Metropolitan Valuation Services in a phone call. And they did nothing. They didn't change anything, the finished square footage, anything like that.
Okay.
In the basement. I don't know that would have made a big difference in the
The
numbers.
field card should be corrected for that. Yeah.
I felt as if they didn't ever look at my case because they didn't change the square footage that is finished in the basement. So I don't think they got to my paperwork before their assignment or something like that happened.
Okay.
I did want to bring that up to the town so you folks in the board knew that.
I will,
Because they're a vendor, I assume they're a third party.
They are a vendor.
They work for a fee.
Right, and.
I don't think they finished their job. That's all. Thank
Well, I
you.
appreciate all that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Okay,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Thank you. Enjoy your time in Fairfield. It's a great place if you're new to here, or if you
No,
moved further out.
yeah, no, we moved here from Stamford about 3.5 years ago. My oldest daughter and her husband have 3 foster kids.
Oh!
And their hands are full.
They're full, they need you. See?
So we said we would be a little bit closer and move up here. We got a lot more home for the money, and we love the community. It's
Excellent.
wonderful.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it, Catherine.
Appreciate your time, too.
Got my hat, we're good.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
This area, the Black Rock Turnpike itself in there, and
These hearings are, we have finished the hearings and finished the recording at 7:40 PM.